Hello and welcome to day number 2 of the WGL APAC Extended Season 2017. We've had our first day this week. It's now our second day and also our last day for this week. But one more new and exciting thing that we do have coming up for you guys is our new caster, Jake. Of course, you guys all know me. I'm Jordan. But this guy is new, and this is your first time casting World of Tanks.
Exactly right. So in the past, you know, other couple of games coming through, but this is my chance to shine, or at least show you that I know something about World of Tanks. It is an exciting world that I'm coming into, and especially with the APAC season coming back in force with some stronger teams. I can't wait to be a part of it.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to be a part of it as well. I'm really looking forward to today. We do have, I think, at least one good matchup. Yep. I'm not sure about the other one. It's going to be YaTo versus Lupin.
Some honesty.
Yeah, look, got to be honest sometimes here. To be honest as well, YaTo and Lupin, fairly mismatched teams if I have to really think about it. YaTo yesterday, we saw them up against Karen Tiger. They had that good performance, picking it up 5-4, and that one was always going to be a close match. But today, up against Lupin, I feel as though that they probably have a bit of an advantage coming into this one, and things should be a little bit more clear-cut.
Exactly right. I think they can bounce back after. And yesterday, look, I do say it was close, and we were expecting it. My predictions were more on the side of 5-3 for YaTo Gaming, but coming through yesterday, the fact that it was that close, I think they need this win. I think they need to get an easier team out of the way just so they can flow into this competition. And especially at the start of this APAC season, going through, this is not their hardest opponent, so
Definitely
this is
not
a bit of a warm-up.
In fact, this is probably, on paper, their weakest opponent.
I would agree,
they're coming into. So I guess it really comes down to how 7 Pirates play as well. We haven't really seen how they go, so maybe they could be a little weaker than Dark Horse, though my general feeling about them is that they're probably a little bit stronger. So that's, I guess, a conversation for another day. But here, like you said, for YaTo, this could potentially be one of their weakest, or if not their weakest opponent that they will face here in the WGL APAC. So, like you said, I think they need to get off to a pretty good start here. Just clean up with this one, get a good victory without too many troubles. But speaking, of course, a little bit more about what's coming up later on today as well, Team Efficiency versus EL Gaming is the other match that we're going to be looking at tonight. That one is, of course, our second one, and that is definitely going to be a very, very good
I tell you what, in the past, this is a grudge match coming back. These guys want revenge, and I tell you what, Team Efficiency after yesterday were looking on fire. In the games that they took command. And coming through against one of the weaker teams. I think Team Efficiency going up against EL Gaming today, this is the match to watch.
It is, definitely. If you're only going to watch one match this week, it's got to be Team Efficiency versus EL Gaming. YaTo Karen Tiger maybe comes in a close second there, but definitely Team Efficiency versus EL Gaming is going to be an excellent match tonight. They've got so much history. I don't want to sort of delve into it too deep before we actually get underway with it, but yeah, definitely stay tuned for that one later on tonight. We'll talk about that when we do get there. For now, though, YaTo and Lupin, we've got to think about this one here. I mean, we saw Lupin playing yesterday against Team Efficiency, and they did get a couple of rounds there, but I have to say, I feel as though the rounds that Lupin was able to pick up was more off the back of some misplays coming out from Team Efficiency. Yeah, like that one on Mines where the bat chats got across the beach without taking a single shot. You know, we generally speaking would see Team Efficiency doing a lot better than that. So I think if they would have been able to, you know, be 100% on point last night, it probably could have gone the way of 5-0, even a 5-1 maybe. But it was a 5-2, not a bad result for Team Efficiency by any means. I just don't think that Lupin really showed me anything there that really made me think that they're going to have a particularly easy time coming into this one against YaTo.
That's right. So coming into this game today, like, expectations are low. The bar is set right here, ladies and gents, and you have to think that Lupin today are not really going up with their heads held high. But then again, taking 2 games off Team Efficiency, sure, Team Efficiency like to drop the ball every now and again, and we did say before that they would drop always that one game when they might muck around and send everything they've got in the wrong direction. But going up against Lupin, I think that YaTo Gaming will still be confident. I think Lupin will have to learn something from this series. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, there is going to be a bit of a David and Goliath story going out here between these two teams. We have obviously seen YaTo over at the Grand Finals playing against teams like Kazna Crew. Obviously, they faced EL Gaming there as well. So those are 2 big names. You know, a lot of experience coming out there for YaTo. I mean, they've even got Reflection, who was a former player for EL Gaming a couple of years ago, or about a year ago, at the 2015 Grand Finals. You know, so he's got a lot of experience there as well. He's played in the WGL APAC before, but apart from him, you know, there are a few guys that haven't necessarily played too much in this region. Not that I necessarily think that it's going to affect them all that much coming into this one here up against Lupin. So yeah, I do think that on paper, YaTo is the stronger side. They have a little bit more skill, I think, mechanically speaking. I think that they're probably just a little bit stronger strategically as well. And obviously, like I said, that experience coming through for YaTo, I think, is going to pay dividends for them as well. So, I mean, I guess I'm kind of being a little bit down on Lupin at the moment, but I
Look,
just
we
have
both
to,
were, let's be honest.
We
were both down on Lupin.
Have to be honest about this matchup, and realistically speaking, I can't see Lupin getting more than, say, maybe 2 rounds at best.
Yeah.
Don't know what maps are going to be coming out just yet, but I don't think regardless of the map pool, we're really going to see much of a different result.
Yeah, I think the vetoes are ready, however, before we jump into our first game. See what they take off, and a lot of the time, yeah, Sandy River's always take it off, but this time, no. We get rid of Cliff, okay. And the one I can't say, Jordan.
Prokhorovka. So Prokhorovka and Cliff being taken away there. Lupin, not too big fans of Cliff. Again, we saw them yesterday getting rid of that one against Team Efficiency, so they're getting rid of it again here today. Prokhorovka, YaTo getting rid of that one. I can't really comment too much on that.
Yeah.
Again, we didn't really see them playing it yesterday. It was vetoed away against Karen Tiger as well. Ghost Town coming out here for YaTo.
Yep.
We did see them playing that yesterday against Karen Tiger, and it was actually Karen Tiger's first pick. Went 1 apiece between Karen Tiger and YaTo, so it seems as though YaTo feeling fairly comfortable coming in on that
confidence
map.
coming through against Lupin especially, and they're going to pick up Runeberg.
Yep.
Right now, any map that they pick up on Lupin, I mean, honestly, it has to be as comfortable as you can get. Get the wins where you can find them.
I don't mind it, to be honest, that Runeberg pick coming out here from Lupin. It is one of those maps where a lot of the time you would expect it to go 1 apiece, and for Lupin, 1 apiece is a good result here against YaTo. So it makes sense to get rid of that one, to pick that one up, sorry. Sand River taken away, still no one wants to play that map.
We're never going to see this map, like...
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's... Well, I'm sure we'll see it eventually,
One day.
but we're going to just keep you guys waiting for that one. Himmelsdorf taken away there by YaTo. That's a bit of a surprising veto for me, I think, because Himmelsdorf was one of the picks that YaTo did have yesterday against Karen Tiger. They 2-0'd them on it as well. Yep. They looked fairly comfortable on it, so I kind of was actually expecting to see Himmelsdorf be one of the top picks for YaTo coming into this one. Not the case, though, and we're going to find ourselves on Muravanka and Mines as our remaining 2 maps.
With Ghost Town on the tiebreaker. Okay.
So I like Ghost Town as a tiebreaker map. It is a very even map, one of the most 50-50 maps in the pool, so I think it's the fairest when it does get to a tiebreaker, so happy to see that one coming through there as the final map.
Not that we think it'll get there, though. However,
no,
I
definitely not.
Being realistic, you know, like that is fine as a tiebreaker, and yeah, but right now, YaTo looking very comfortable coming through, and I do like the map picks. I think the banning away of Sandy River, it's just 1 day. You know, Steps gets banned, righto, okay, that's fine. And then we see Sandy River just goes down the pit as well. Mr. Jordan Mays, we'll see it one day, but the point is, Ghost Town tiebreaker. We're not going to get there. No. We're going to pull back. We saw the banning of Himmelsdorf as well, which YaTo did play on yesterday.
Correct, yes. So after having seen these map picks, I'm definitely feeling as though this should be fairly comfortable for YaTo. I'm actually going to go 5-0 in their favor. Okay. Ghost Town against Karen Tiger, they look pretty decent on it. The rounds are pretty close. I don't think they're going to have too many problems here against Lupin. Runeberg, I mean, it is going to be tough for them maybe on the attack here, but we did see them playing attack of Runeberg. Actually, no, we didn't. Never mind. So,
come on,
let's get rid of that.
What are you doing to me?
What am I doing? I'm still predicting 5-0. I don't care. I think YaTo's got the power man for man, and obviously when we get onto Muravanka, again, I don't see anything really from Lupin yesterday on that map that was particularly impressive. So, again, I just think, like I said, it doesn't really come down to what maps come out here. More so the fact that YaTo is just the better team on paper, and so I'm going to go 5-0.
100%. Look, I would agree, but the fact is, I think 5-0 is a bit too much. I think that it will be 5-1 at the end of the day there. The problem is that, I mean, Lupin surprised us yesterday, and against Team Efficiency, although a different opponent, it's an opponent of equal strength, you could say, in the APAC season. So 5-1, and see if YaTo can take a game off, and see if I will be wearing some kind of weird dinosaur suit or whatever we're going for.
Yeah, not sure yet. We'll have to figure it out.
This was the end season game, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, me and Max, we did go for one broadcast with a bow tie last season as well.
Just one.
You know, we just like to keep it exciting. Anyway, production reckons it's going to be 5-2 in the favor of YaTo. I think that's a pretty reasonable prediction coming out from them. I mean, it's definitely possible here. If it was going to be a 5-2, probably Runeberg defense going the way of Lupin, and then maybe one half of Muravanka as well. I can see YaTo dropping there. But I think probably your prediction at the moment is looking pretty good as well. Like, my feeling is it's either 5-0 or 5-1 here, and the 5-1 being if Lupin can pick up that defensive side on Rumble. That's really the only major concern for me at the moment, and even then, it's not a major concern. I'm saying like 30% kind of chance of that coming through.
Look, we have, to be fair, we have put Lupin very far down. I think that's fair, however. And coming through in this first best of 9, remember the format change there, is going to be really good for Lupin, however, because it is still the start. These guys still have time to bounce back, and I'm saying this in week number 1, right? I'm saying this in day number 2, but these guys still have the opportunity to climb up there. It's just all about getting these first week, I guess, jitters out of the way, or getting these first week contestants through the mark, and the more they develop, I mean, Lupin have a strong roster. It's just, I guess, synergizing together in comparison to teams like Team Efficiency and like EL Gaming, who have such a strong roster because they work so well together.
I definitely think that the guys here on Lupin have a decent chance if they continue to play with this roster. I mean, we've seen them coming through from Season 1 last year, Season 2 this year, and now into this season with a pretty stable roster. The majority of those players are coming through, and that's exactly what you need to see if you want the team to develop. And, you know, back in, 2 or 3 years ago, Team Efficiency had results like what Lupin is having currently. But now, 3 years later, or 2.5 years later, they are one of the best teams in the region. So that just goes to show, if you can go from strength to strength, you make the right moves, you practice hard, you keep this fairly similar roster coming through, get those experienced players to mentor the new guys, then definitely you can come up and rise through the ranks here. But we're on to Ghost Town, having a look at those tank lineups coming through here. We've got a few Mousers on both sides, no real surprises coming out there. Type 5 for Lupin, WZ111-5A for them, and an E4 as well. An E4 is not something that you see all the time here on Ghost Town, but it's a good pick up against those Mousers here of YaTo. YaTo, again, nothing too crazy coming out from them. Some 113s, a 57 heavy, and a bad chat there. Bit of mobility and getting onto that cap very, very quickly. And this is what we saw YaTo doing yesterday as well against Karantaga. Very quick onto that one flag with the bad chat. They get the 113s on there as well, and they see if they can put pressure on early onto Lupin. So now the ball is in Lupin's court. They need to come in here and look for those resets.
Exactly right, putting it right to them nice and early. A quick trade-off, and the WZ111 will just take a bit of pot damage there, and we can see that the 113's already moving in on the point and really forcing Lupin to come out of their comfort here, but they are getting traded off nice and quickly. This is a great start for YaTo Gaming. Yeah, there was a bit of a poor sort of rotation coming out from YaTo. They did expose themselves to what we kind of like to call the death alley, really, which is where you can kind of see Tian hanging around there with Corsa, Lucian as well hanging around in that general position. So they kind of crossed that alleyway, and they took a lot of damage on the cross and didn't really manage to get anything out of it. Like, they haven't done much damage at all. They kind of got a bit of a mini reset earlier on in the piece, but that cap timer is still being a huge concern right now for Lupin. They have to send their Type 5 forward, they have to send their WZ111-5A forward, and yes, they'll probably get a reset here, but at what cost is the real question. Exactly right, this rotation's kind of working out right now, and the reset still hasn't come through. We're at 90%. In goes another, and there it is, finally resetting it back, playing a bit more for that time, and YaTo Gaming still getting the better shots off, and Lupin have flashing health bars already. This is a bit of a concern that is growing and growing.
That 5A is a one-shot now here for Hate. If he manages to connect this shot, he will be able to pick up the first kill of this match, and he does manage to do that, so the 5A is now down for Lupin. Player advantage, tank advantage even for YaTo, and it's just a 2v1 now between the Type 5 Heavy and the double 113 that YaTo Gaming have brought out onto this cap. He eventually is going to lose this fight. There's no situation in which you do win that kind of a fight in a Type 5 Heavy or really any kind of a tank. 2v1 is going to be quite difficult for you to negotiate, and so I think this is probably all over Red Rover right now for Lupin.
We've got the T11 coming in. They actually trade off one. The Type 5 Heavy's still alive, but there we go, finally getting taken down. You have someone else coming in, however, and that's the T11 on the side. Rotating through, we can see the push slowly starting to come up.
Yeah, this is going to be crucial as well. Bang coming around in that bat chat. 10 seconds off the reload. Once he gets that done, basically these Mousers are toast. He's going to come right around the back of them. Tian getting another shot in there. Mouse number 10 is a one-shot. Reflection actually picks that one up in the T57 Heavy. He's clipping out now onto the E4. You can see the bat chat shots coming in from Bang as well onto the E4. In the end, it's actually going to be Tian to get a kill there as well. The E4 does go down to Bang, and this has been a very, very straightforward kind of a matchup really for YaTo. Lupin just sacrificed way too much HP early on, trying to get into a decent position. They weren't really properly set up to get resets easily, and while they did get some resets in the end, it just wasn't worth it in the sense that they obviously saved the game, but they wasted way too much HP in doing so, and it was a win-win situation for YaTo there. Either they win by cap if the reset doesn't come across, or if the reset does come across, they trade favorably and win from there.
Putting him into a chokehold. I mean, we saw that from YaTo going against Karen Tiger in the very first game, and rinse and repeat. Lupin maybe should have done their homework there, because I feel like that was a very similar strategy that was put into effect.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see Lupin having so much trouble there, because obviously there are a lot of avenues which you can go about to defend that northern flag with relative ease as well. I mean, they didn't have anyone up on the climb towards the back northern area of the map, which was very, very common last season. You know, we saw AMX 30s and that kind of thing going up there, which is obviously not an option now because it is tier 10 only. But there are definitely tanks that can get up there. I mean, even a Batchat can get up there if they wanted it to, but that wasn't the option there for Lupin. Whatever they decided to do didn't work out too well. There was just too much pressure on that cap from Lupin. Their forces were split. They lost the brawl in the city with the Mausers, and then the Batchat of YaTo as well coming around. Bang seemed to be getting a bit of work done. The T-57 Heavy as well was under no pressure from YaTo, so it seemed like the target selection even from Lupin wasn't so amazing.
That's right.
And there wasn't really all that much damage even going into YaTo, so it was just a super comfortable victory.
Better shot calling, right? So, like, YaTo just showed that they had the, they did have the positional advantage, but rushing that first cap so quickly, again and again. We've seen this. I feel like in future, we're going to have to be keeping an eye on this one, but you can see it was just pretty simple coming through from YaTo Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Lupin's lineup here is, like I was talking about with that climb, they don't even have anyone on this lineup that has any mobility. None of those tanks can get up on the climb. I mean, maybe the 5A, I'm not sure. I've never tried it. I've never seen it. Of any of those tanks in that roster, that would be the one that would have the best chance.
You'd hope, yeah.
But I don't even think the 5A can actually climb up on A1 either. So they didn't have that option available to them. So YaTo probably read that lineup. They said, all right, we can get some easy cap points onto the one flag. They decided to go for that, and obviously they made it work. So I think Lupin, this kind of a lineup, they need a little bit more flexibility here. Obviously, it's a good lineup if a brawl does break out in the city, if, for example, YaTo goes to the 2 flag or something like that. But YaTo, reading the situation well, opted to play against their opponent's hand, and they made it work.
We'll see what happens when we go onto the defense and when YaTo change around, see if there's that versatility again in their lineup, because, like you said, they did play that well. They did pretty much pick a really nice composition coming through, but maybe a bit more versatility coming through from Lupin. Maybe we, on the offense, you expect it to be a little bit different, but we're hoping they go for maybe a similar strategy. Take the ball to YaTo Gaming's court.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of a defensive setup here YaTo has got as well, because yesterday, a lot of the time we saw them picking up the double 50B, particularly on Himmelsdorf. They used it pretty effectively against Karen Tiger, and I'm a big fan of watching the double 50B strategy, because it's kind of one of the more impactful tank picks that you can pick up. You get those 250Bs, you get in there quickly, you clip out a tank or you clip out 2 tanks, you fall back, reload your clip, rinse and repeat essentially, and then your opponent's dead. So, really, I mean, that's an option here for those guys on YaTo. Potentially some Batchats coming out here as well. And of course, we're going to be seeing a bunch of Mausers coming in as well for YaTo here. Regardless, I mean, they are on the defense coming into this next one. So perhaps even instead of having 50Bs, there's the option of the T-57 Heavies. It's very, very similar to the 50B, but it's a little bit slower, has a little bit more DPM, reloads a bit faster, gets its clip out a little bit faster as well. So if you can set it up in a position to just dump its clip, then it's probably a bit of a better choice than the 50B. So maybe on the defensive side here, that's a better option for YaTo.
I think they have so many windows here. They have so many options coming through, and just showing there, like, we've seen on the defense, they can fall behind. Like, YaTo Gaming have had some real problems in their defense, and we saw that against Karen Tiger. We saw that the offense was like, okay, this is clean. This is a YaTo Gaming lineup that is just like pushing it for the offense. But then when they're forced into the defense, they kind of fell apart a bit,
You're exactly
with similar strategies that they employ against their enemies.
Yeah, so I mean, just to add a little bit of context to that one, Karen Tiger and YaTo obviously did play on Ghost Town yesterday. YaTo did win their attacking side. They lost their defensive side, though. So it went 1-1 on Ghost Town. Maybe there's a bit of a chance here for Lupin if they can make things work on their own attacking side. They can catch YaTo off guard. And what Karen Tiger did yesterday was they kind of did, again, go fairly quickly onto that one flag, put a bit of pressure onto Lupin, and forced Lupin into those resets, and it forced YaTo into those resets. For a moment, it looked like YaTo was actually in a favorable situation. They got a couple of tank picks early on in the piece, but they just weren't able to make it work. Their Batchat didn't get into the fight early enough, so we'll see whether or not that's going to be an issue for them coming into this one. Once more, we will have Bang on the Batchat 25T. There's the double T57 Heavy, so like I was talking about, between the 50Bs or the T57 Heavies. YaTo have decided to go for the T57 Heavies. Double 50B, though, for Lupin on the attack. So that's kind of going to show you the difference between the defensive side and the attacking side. With the T57 Heavies on the defense, you can sit them in a position they can just basically be quite static and just dump their clip out. They don't have to roam around quite so much. But on the attack, you need a little bit of extra mobility. You need to be able to move around the map a little bit better. So that's why the guys on Lupin have gone for the 50Bs as opposed to the T57 Heavies. And well, I guess we get to see which one of those two tank choices is going to reign supreme.
Yeah, let's see if that adaptation makes a big difference for Lupin. Those two AMX 50Bs are what we were looking forward to. But right now, pretty standard fan coming through from YaTo just waiting for the advance of Lupin. But coming through, let's see who's at the front there. We can see T11 getting set up nice and easily around this corner. And already we see a quick cap coming through from the mouse. Pushing on in. Should be a quick reset, should be nice and simple, but at least putting that pressure onto YaTo Gaming.
I do like the setup here from YaTo Gaming, though. They've got Bang down on the J line. He's basically spotting out that entire southern part of the map, and a lot of the time what you see from the attacking side when they have a double 50B is they will go a little bit of on a little bit of an adventure down in the south there, just to see what they can do. So if Lupin were to do that, Bang's ready there to spot them out. It's not going to be a concern really for YaTo. We do have Lupin now on the cap, and YaTo's going to have to rotate across accordingly and try and get some resets, but their defensive setup that they've got here is very spread out across the map. It's very good to try and defend this 2 flag. The problem with the 2 flag for Lupin is that look at how many angles that mouse, number 10, can be hit from. He can be hit from the north, he can be hit from the west, the east, the south. So basically the resets are relatively easy for YaTo when they have a defensive setup like this. And there's the first one coming across. It's a 1-for-1 trade in terms of the shots. Overall, favorable there for YaTo because they do get the reset. So at the moment, no cause for concern right now for YaTo. These resets should be fairly easy, and I want to see what Lupin's going to do to adapt because this strategy is not going to work.
No, definitely not. And you can see right now it was already reset, and they can rotate in, they can reset once again and play with that time. I mean, the 7-minute window is so much to work with here. The mouse is going to pop up again and look for that angle, which is a little bit sharp for Lupin, but he's going to come through and pretty much make it as simple again. However, we see the rotations coming through and around the back, ready to sandwich on in. And Lupin's still playing it nice and slow. So see if that adaptation works with the AMX 50Bs or see if they continue to force the objective.
Well, seems as though we've had another reset coming across there, and that cap timer is back up to the 2-minute mark. Lupin being very, very static with those 50Bs towards the southern part of the map. Number 9 and number 5. They are watching that angle just to see whether or not someone from YaTo is going to rotate back across the map. And while that might sound great in theory, there's no reason for anyone on YaTo to be rotating through the map at the moment. So Lupin trying to catch a tank off guard with their double 50B strategy. YaTo's not falling for it, and at the moment it really is in the court of Lupin to make their move, and we can see the move is now being made by this Batchat number 4. He's been spotted out though by most likely Bang, who is getting some shots sent in his direction. He'll take a shot for his trouble, but that's fair enough for the information that he's able to gather. Yeah,
not the same pace of game that YaTo Gaming were imploring in our first cap there, but that 2 flag still under pressure. Resets coming left, right, and center, but trading back and forth between Corsa here and our mouse number 10 on the other side, and getting that angle really important right here for YaTo Gaming. I think he should be fine as he pushes back, but still coming through, and it is a slower pace of game that Lupin seem to be okay with for now. I mean, it's not YaTo Gaming forcing, but again, they're playing for time. They don't really have to do anything. I like this, though, now from Lupin. They've recognized that what they're doing is really not putting all that much pressure on YaTo, as once again we see another reset coming out onto that cap. But what's happening now here from Lupin is that they are sending the Batchat up towards the northern part of the map. The 50Bs are following up there as well, so it looks like they're going to try and force something to happen here. Obviously, the Batchat being a bit of a scout for his 250B bigger brothers, I suppose, in a sense. They're taking control of this death alley. And now if they can maybe get around the back of Tian, if they go all the way through the north, or if they can spot out Iron Wings there, get his side, they can dump their clip in there with the aid of a Batchat as well. They will be able to take a tank down, but they have to do it quickly because they've already lost their own first tank, that mouse that's on the cap. Here we go, the push coming out now though, from the 50Bs and from the Batchat. Let's see if this rotation hurts them. 3-on-1 with the backing up coming through from Lupin on the side, excuse me. With the rest of the mouses coming in, the AMX 50Bs going to really sink some damage in, and this mouse probably going to go down here. He will sink another one coming through, but with the backup and the rest of Lupin, maybe they make something of this rotation. It will be a 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day.
Yeah, they get the 1-for-1 trade overall, but I'm not sure that was ideal really for Lupin. They did walk into the crossfire that was set up by YaTo.
Low.
Tian in the T57 Heavy had a bunch of free shots into the 50Bs, and the mouse even was able to get 2 or 3 shots off before he went down. So even though the 50Bs, the theory works, you know, they go in there, they clip out a tank, they kill it. It didn't work in practice because they've taken way too much HP damage here, and they haven't really managed to get any real control of the map off the back of it. Tian able to take down another enemy tank, and bang, again, doing such an amazing job in this bat chat, gets around the back of some Mausers, easy penetrates into the back of the turret there for him. They should have, you know, no real chance of taking him down. A little bit of an overextension here, though, by Reflection. He's going to be under a bit of pressure. That 50B should be able to clean him up, though he bounces a shell and actually does get taken down in the end. The mouse, though, cleaning up Reflection. It's a 4 versus 3 here, though, still favorable for YaTo. Let's see what Batchat number 4 can do while his opposition number is on the reload.
He's going to go for the chase, but in comes the T57 Heavy, and he's just going to fire away. Number 4 is going to go down. Bait and switch tactic there, Hellfish. And there's only 2 tanks left, but the bleeding health bars here are going to mean that Lupin are forced into the corner. It is a 3v2, take it back, 3v1. I think YaTo right now really showing their experience, and they're looking to take another point.
Yeah, they just had a really nice defensive setup there. I mean, Lupin could have made this strategy work. I think if they would have gone and explored the northern part of the map, recognized that there was no one up there, they could have flanked around the back, got that T57 Heavy, Tian. He was pretty isolated if they would have pushed through that 1 flag area of the map, but they decided to push in on the mouse. They didn't know that Tian was there in the T57 Heavy. Like I said earlier, he got all of his clip off for free, essentially. He barely took any damage. And yeah, Lupin kind of just walked into the crossfire. So there was some issues there for Lupin. I liked what they tried to do, though. With those 50Bs, with that batch out, you could see the strategy, and you could see it almost worked out. If they would have chosen the correct timing, if they wouldn't have sacrificed as much HP for the mouse, if they wouldn't have sacrificed the mouse on the cap, and then maybe would have gone a little bit earlier or something like that, then there could have been an opportunity there for Lupin. But I think they got the timing wrong, and they kind of got the positioning just a little bit wrong as well. Their scouting wasn't quite as good as it needed to be. They committed without the information that the T57 Heavy was there, and it cost them.
That's right. Like, I mean, putting that play into work, it was fantastic coming through. And I think for Lupin, the start of that game to be praised, but just, like you said, the timings coming through just were not on point. And it shows that experience gap. It shows how YaTo are coming through as one of the favored teams, as another team from China that are really representing the region in a great way. And coming through, this is showing right now as Lupin will fall and is already 2-0. And what a start of a series coming through from YaTo Gaming. Much better from yesterday, cleaning things up a little bit. And I do like their compositions that they're building here. It seems like they're adapting from what they were doing yesterday. Yeah,
they're looking pretty good here up against Lupin. I mean, there was no real concerns for them in either of those 2 rounds. Their attack was very clean. Their defense, you know, they lost a few tanks and that kind of thing, but it never really felt like Lupin was in a position to win that one. I mean, the 50Bs would have had to get in there and get their clips out without taking any damage. And
it was too late.
As soon as we saw them running into the side of that T57 Heavy, it was basically all over. So we'll have a look at this replay here. But yeah, I think if they would have gone in while that mouse was alive, Iron Wings would have been a little bit more preoccupied with the mouse on the cap. They might have got some more free shots into Iron Wings. He might not have got so much damage out. But at the end of the day, they didn't get that timing quite right, and it didn't work out too well for them. You can see, even at the moment, Tian, like after the entire fight's happened, still almost on full HP. And that just goes to show how easy it was for him to get his damage out. He was under no pressure at all, and you can't allow a T57 Heavy to be getting 2 or 3 or 4 clips off in a game and expecting to win. Again, Tian here coming around. This is going to be almost another clip for him coming out. So I don't know how much damage he actually ended up getting done, but I would have to say he probably put out at least 3 clips worth of damage, which is quite significant. He would have been up towards the top of the damage charts.
Absolutely. But coming through maybe a little bit too late for the side of Lupin, but still good from YaTo Gaming, and they will take that map in a clean 2-0 coming through. I mean, like, it is a different opponent, like you said, and when you are going up against one of the lower tiers, when you're going up against a team that does have fundamental flaws in their roster and in their compositions, then it's much easier to expose than a team like Team Efficiency. So this is really good. I mean, YaTo Gaming, after yesterday, this is their comeback that they definitely needed.
Yeah, I mean, here coming into Ruinberg now as well, Lupin's first map choice. This is the one that I might give a round to Lupin if the defensive side goes pretty well from them. It is oftentimes a little bit difficult to push in on the attack here. You know, when you've got a bunch of Mouses, you've got the Mouse watching the middle, you've got the couple of tanks up towards the town in the north, watching the cross of the one flag. It just has to come down to the fundamentals here from Lupin. They just need to play out that defensive side as they should be. You know, if for example, YaTo crosses up on through that top part of the map through the north, they need to be getting shots on the cross, that kind of thing. Just making sure that everything is working the way it needs to be.
Yep.
But if they miss things like that, if they make mistakes, if they allow YaTo a little bit too much room to maneuver, that's where we're going to start to see YaTo maybe taking a bit of a win here on the attacking side. So not sure what side both teams are going to be starting on here, but obviously playing both sides regardless. So defensive side here is absolutely crucial for Lupin to get right. They need to get that one and then hope for the best that they can do on the attacking side, but I'm probably counting them out when they are on their own attack.
Look, I think for the attacking side, I think straight away we go like, okay, YaTo's strength is on the attacking side 100%. Every single time we see them on the aggressive, it is them pushing to the limit. I love the forcing of plays, and I just love how the fact that on the offensive, they always look like a much stronger roster. So if Lupin are going to pick up a couple of points, it's definitely, like you said, going to have to be on the defense.
It's kind of harking back to that kind of old mentality that we saw coming out from YaTo in Season 1. You know, that Chinese aggression coming out from them where they kind of just ran in. They took fights. They didn't care. It was
Chinese aggression.
No, but that's it. They like this Chinese team EL, when they basically played in the old format, the Tier 8 format, all they did was charge at their opponents, took fights, they won them all. They started doing that in the 768 format as well when it came into Season 1.
Yep.
They ran at their opponents, they took fights, they won those fights, and then they kind of went over to the New York Rumble last year. They tried that against some of the international lineups, like the Americans and the European teams. Didn't really work out too well for them, so they kind of tried to adapt in Season 2. We did see them changing up their playstyle a little bit, but perhaps, you know, coming from the same region, YaTo and YaGaming, they might have played each other in the past as well. A very similar meta might have developed here in China. Yep. We haven't really been able to have much of an opportunity to watch that Chinese league because it's very, very hard to find VODs from that. But but you know, I would suspect perhaps that there is a bit of aggression coming out in that region where this is kind of like YaTo's playstyle, I suppose, where they like to be aggressive, they like to take those early fights, and they like to put pressure on their opponents earlier and just put them on the back foot, so to speak. So whether or not that's going to work out for them for the rest of the season, if they're going to go for that again here on Runeberg, it's definitely a possibility. They can very, very quickly go into that 2 flag, get control of the town, again, take a quick fight there. So we'll see whether or not the old YaGaming kind of playstyle is going to translate across here for YaTo. But that's an interesting storyline that I think we should watch out for, whether or not YaTo actually is going to be one of those very, very aggressive teams that's pretty much always going to be on the aggression.
YaGaming didn't turn into that overnight, right?
Exactly. Or whether or not, you know, there is a bit more of diversity to their playstyle, and we're kind of just reading into that one round on Ghost Town a little bit too much. But I guess it's time to find out here as we do head on to Runeberg. We see a bunch of 113s coming out here from YaTo. Not sure if they're on the defense or the attack just yet. Looks like YaTo's on the defense. So bunch of Mouses coming out from Lupin, 113's bat chance here from Lupin. I don't expect we're going to see anything too aggressive in this round here from YaTo. They'll just take control of that town on the EF line. They'll take control of the little clump of buildings up on the A line. And this is your pretty standard setup coming out here from YaTo. So I guess we'll hold that storyline for a little bit until we get onto the second round of Runeberg.
That's right. I want to see how they adapt again coming through. You see the pretty standard lockout here. The back chat, we're going to follow that for a bit. Just push on back. Standard fan coming through. Mouse and the 113 going to sit amongst each other. And playing it nice and slow has been Lupin's way of defending, but on attacking, we do want to see something a little bit different. And last game wasn't as successful as potentially should have been with their tactics. Let's see if they're faster to rotate, and let's see if they're really adapted from the first map. Yeah,
so this kind of a setup coming out here from Lupin, it does give away perhaps their intentions. We would expect to see them pushing forward onto that 1 flag with the double mouse, with the 113. Maybe here they're going to go for a triple cap, have the 113 kind of sitting behind the Mouses and trying to get a lot of points on that cap timer, get a lot of pressure on early. So really what it comes down to here for YaTo is how much damage they can do before the Mouses get onto the cap, because inevitably there will be damage coming across onto the Mouses of Lupin, and then how they're going to be able to get those resets when that cap timer does inevitably start ticking away here. But this is a pretty standard strategy coming out on the attacking side. of Ruinberg, and you can see reflection, a perfect angle from the Type 5 Heavy there. Just another free bit of damage going off over to Lupin. Now the cap timer has started up here, but this is where YaTo Gaming is going to be prepared for. You know, they would have been aware that this is going to be a option of choice for Lupin. It is pretty much the easiest strategy to execute, but it doesn't necessarily always work. So we're going to see the 113 pushing forward there a little bit, looking for a reset. Corsair as well in the mouse, looking for a reset. At the moment, things are not too concerning here for YaTo. There's still 20 seconds left. That's plenty of time for the reset. What I do want to see is where's the rotation coming across from YaTo? It's taking them quite a long time, and this is not too great. They're losing a lot of HP on that 113. Corsair in the mouse is going to be under a little bit of pressure here as well. Hate manages to take down one of the bat chats of Lupin, but this is not amazing at the moment from YaTo.
No, it definitely isn't. Should have been much quicker. It's already a 1-for-1 trade, and we're starting to see a lot of damage going into this backchat. 25. All right.
So that reset coming out, that basically saves the game here for YaTo. If that reset wouldn't have come across, they probably could have been all said and done. Bang gets across to the A-line just in time in his batch had to help out his teammates, and now we're going to be seeing Lupin in a pretty difficult position. Bang should be able to get a reset here. I think he's got a couple of shots loaded. He does, but they're not getting the resets onto the 113. That's what they need to be hitting here. They can get resets for days onto the mouse, but they need to hit that 113, and finally another reset comes across. A little bit of extra time now available here for YaTo to play with. Still the 113 is the concern, and now Bang should be going down here in that bat chat. He has no clips loaded.
Absolutely, he's going to get flanked here, and there we go. Number 4 going to take him down. The reset through again, but it's still at 90%, so we're still building up. Time needs to be stopped right there. There we go. You see the AMX 50B waiting in that angle. But still, this is a concern. YaTo Gaming were looking so much better than this, and Lupin are still controlling this point. This flag is going to go down.
Reset. 1 second reset. It's not going to be enough. Iron Wings, does he come across in time?
There it is.
No, he doesn't. Lupin just clutching away the victory there with the cap. And that's the kind of round that can go either way. I mean, if the splash of a Type 5 Heavy hits the 113, resets him, then that game is over. The resets, you could see how many resets YaTo actually were getting, but they just weren't the significant reset that they needed onto the 113. And so the 113 of YaTo rotating through the town, half a second. 1 second too slow. He was around the back. He was ready to get that reset, but by that stage it was already just a little bit too late. So YaTo just a little bit too slow on the defensive rotation there. You could see how long they stayed on that southern part of the map for before they started to rotate across, and that's why I was questioning, you know, where's the rotation coming out here from YaTo? Yep. Didn't quite happen. So yeah, they've actually lost their defensive side, which is a pretty big deal even on Ruinberg. Now Lupin here, moving on to the defensive side of Ruinberg. If they can play it out correctly, there's a good chance maybe they can turn this into a 2-0.
This is a concern, though, because we talked about Lupin. We said that the potential flaw of YaTo Gaming is definitely coming through onto that onto that defense, right? And right then and then we saw it was too slow. It was a little bit sloppy there, and Lupin kind of took full advantage of it and played a bit of the YaTo Gaming style. Let's push up. There were some concerns in the start of that game with the mouse rotating through that center line, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty impressed that Lupin did take a point, and let's see how they go coming through and when they swap around, if they can be as convincing. Yeah,
that's going to be the real question here, because I mean that round it's not a super convincing one from Lupin. I mean there are a lot of problems that can happen there.
Absolutely.
A lot of things that could go either way. And yeah, like I said, if a reset would have come across there from YaTo, they probably would have saved that game. They were in an advantageous situation in terms of the fact that they had a bit more HP, they had tanks available to them, the timer was ticking down, but the resets just didn't come across in time. And you can see still Iron Wings and Lupin at the moment, right now in this replay, are still over on the southern part of the map. And if Iron Wings would have moved a little bit earlier, if he would have started rotating through the city, say 2 seconds earlier, he probably gets around the back here just in time down that sort of D angle into the 1 flag and gets a reset there that saves the game for YaTo. Then he's got shots into the back of the Mausers, into the back of the 113 as well, but he just wasn't able to do it. And you know, the resets that had to come across from YaTo forced Bang into a poor position. He got taken down, and then the 50B, Tian, he had to push forward and try and get resets. He was in a poor position. Easy shots coming out from from Lupin there. But look at this, Iron Wings, he's still on the rotate. All of these replays that we're watching, Iron Wings is on the rotation, and if he was 2 or 3 seconds faster, even a second faster.
That's right.
They might have got there in time to get the reset, and that could have been the difference there from YaTo. But unfortunately, he didn't get there in time, and Lupin picked up the round.
There we go. We're talking them up, and YaTo just show a fundamental flaw. That communication was not on point in that game.
Yeah, the rotation. That's all it really come down to for YaTo there. So we'll see what they do on the attack here. We'll see whether or not that storyline we were starting to build up before that round does come to the fore, whether or not they are going to be that aggressive team here. If they're going to pick maybe 2 or 3 back chats, put them in quickly onto the 2 flag, maybe a 113 IS-7 down in the pillbox, a couple of Mouses there following up behind them, and you know, maybe something like an E4 or an E3 watching down the middle alleyway. That's always an opportunity as well. I would like to see that kind of strategy coming out from YaTo, because I think that probably fits their sort of mentality a little bit better than it does the strategy of like what Lupin just did there on the attacking side of Rumberg. If YaTo goes for something like a cap like that, I think there's too many variables in that kind of a strategy. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'd like to see the guys on YaTo being aggressive, get those bat chats into the town early, force Lupin into disadvantageous positions, and try and go from there.
Yeah, but how do they develop forward? Because, I mean, Lupin, I'm still more concerned about Lupin picking up points here as much as possible.
Yep.
Not that I'm, you know, filthy and, you know, biased, but in the same regards, it's a bad word to use for it, but in the same regards, I mean, like, Lupin did show some kind of development so far in the series, and although that was close, or that was more of a mistake potentially from YaTo, that it does mean that Lupin still have that opening window, and we still see what they can do as they go forward.
It's not like Lupin is bad players at all, or a bad team.
No, definitely not.
It's just that they are eclipsed by the majority of the teams here in the APAC region. I mean, they are all excellent players in their own right. They're some of the top players on the server, but when you compare them to the other top players on the server, you know, things aren't quite meshing as well here for Lupin, and it's coming across again from last season, where we saw them playing under the Dark Wolves. We saw them in Season 1 playing as Dark Wolves. They were one of the weaker teams in the region, and so when they go up against these stronger teams, it's just the little differences, you know, those like exactly that sort of half-second rotation perhaps that was not there for YaTo. It could be there for a better team. You know, team efficiency might have rotated a little bit quicker.
YaTo would have done the same thing.
YaTo probably would have won that round there as well. So for a team like Lupin to pick up that round, yes, they performed pretty well in it, but I think it does come down to some errors coming out from YaTo as well. And that's kind of what you can't really rely on. You can't rely on your opponent to be making errors, because when you face the better teams, they make less mistakes, and you get punished for yours a little bit harder. But
three bat chats.
This is what we want to see. The bat chats coming out from YaTo. They're going to be quick into some sort of position. Not sure exactly which one. Does look like it's actually going to be a 1 flag here. So these bat chats, what we would expect them to do, if they do head in towards the 1 flag, the bat chats in the 5A are going to push up down that A line. They're going to try and deal with number 1 and number 5, get them out of the fight before the fight really begins. So they want to get rid of the bat chat of Lupin. They want to get rid of the IS-4 of Lupin without sacrificing more than one of their own tanks. If they go 2 for 1, that's a workable trade here for YaTo. And what YaTo's doing at the moment with their Mouses as well, pushing them down the middle line, just getting them spotted, firing a few shots off, causing a bit of a distraction. And when YaTo feels the moment is right, they'll push down here onto the 1 flag.
Yeah, I love the strat coming through from YaTo, so let's just wait and watch as the Mouse continue to push right down that center line. We see on the side, T11 just taking shots.
Good roll as well. 820 damage coming out from the E3. Can't really complain about that one at all. The Mouses now are taking a bit of fire, but this is the go signal for YaTo. They're getting the timing pretty on point right now. We'll see whether or not they can make it work. As long as they can cross this little gap, that sort of B5, BC, or A6 kind of gap, they can get across there, take maybe only 1 or 2 shots. That's going to be good enough for them to take down the bat chat number 1, take down the IS-4 number 5. There's 1 shot coming across from Lupin on the cross of YaTo, but so far they haven't really been punished too much for this. It's really the Mouses of YaTo that are taking the shots, and that's the key here for YaTo. They've managed to get across. Now they can really start to put a lot of pressure in, and the Mouses are in position to put pressure on the IS-4 as well. It's a good crossfire from YaTo. This is exactly how this attacking setup works. It's supposed to work, and we'll see whether or not they can execute it from here. Right
now it's looking pretty good. The Mouses keep pushing up, and the bat chats are just going to find this IS-4, and 2v1 here is not going to work out too well. Not even a trade off. A bit of damage popped back and forth, but still good for YaTo as they take out their first and their second as well. And they're putting further damage into this Mouse and really pushing up.
There was a rotation coming across from Lupin as well through the town, but I feel as though it's probably too little too late at the moment. YaTo have already taken down 2 tanks, basically 3 tanks now as number 9 Mouse will be getting dropped. And I mean, you can see number 4, he's still rotating through the town. It's a very similar story to what we saw in the last round when YaTo was on their own defensive side. Their rotator was not getting enough done. They weren't having an impact on the fight, and it was too little too late by the time the rotation did come across. So yeah, this Batchat, he's maybe on the reload. I don't know, he's come off the reload by the looks of things, but any damage that he gets out now onto these Mouses, yeah, it's going to be damage, but I don't think it's going to be too impactful because we see the cap coming across here at the moment for YaTo up towards the northern part of the map. This Batchat's going to clip out. He'll need to be probably the one to get the reset. I don't know who else is going to get there in time unless Batchat number 1 is there, but no, Batchat number 1 is on the southern part of the map. Not sure what he's really doing there, to be honest. So it's going to be the Mouses here from Lupin that need to get a reset coming across. The Batchat probably isn't going to get there in time if YaTo get 3 players on the cap. He will get a reload off if it's just the 2 players still sitting on this cap. So there's still a chance here for YaTo if number 4 can get something done, but it does look like we do see a reset coming across here onto YaTo. Again, too much damage has come out here though, and even though the resets are coming across, the map positioning is in the favor of YaTo. The damage is in the favor of YaTo. The tanks are in the favor of YaTo. The timer is in the favor of YaTo as well. They've got plenty of time to close this one out. I don't see Lupin coming up with anything from here.
That's right. Already 3 are left on the side of Lupin. Now 2. You're counting stars right now as the 2 Mouse sit in the middle, ready to be taken away. And from all angles, number 3 is going to be the last. Look at this. It's firing squad, baby. Take him down. Number 3 is just going to try and get some redemption and get some trades, but I think the answer at the end of the day, we saw this one coming, and YaTo get another successful game on the offense.
Yeah, he's going to try and get some trades, but they're not going to be very, very good trades at this point when you are basically trading your entire HP for 1 or 2 shots. And at the moment, he's not even getting shots
just
off.
Playing with him.
They're not trades anymore, he's just taking damage. So I really like that from YaTo. Very, very good on the attacking side. Their strategy, you could see exactly how it was supposed to work. The Mouses go down the middle line, take lots of the focus of the defenders. The Batchats and the 5A push forward on the A line, take out the 2 guys that are defending the A line. There you go, bada bing, bada boom, 2 tank advantage. You've got control of the northern part of the map. You've got a bunch of tanks in the middle, which forces the defenders to have a really tough time on the rotation. There's not many avenues that they can go through. You know, they can't rotate through the middle field anymore. They can only rotate around the very top side of the map, sort of like the 0 line. They can only rotate through the town, but that's going to take a long, long time for them to get in. Right. And so it was a perfect setup from YaTo, perfect execution, and they made it work. It just looked so, so nice. That's exactly how that strategy is supposed to work.
I wasn't sure what was happening with Lupin, as that Batchat number 1 was
still hanging
so
around.
far down the south side.
He might have been on reload or something like that, but even when you're on reload, I would think you probably want to be maneuvering yourself into a position that you can end up doing damage. And from that position that he was in, he wasn't going to be having any kind of an impact there at all. So, yeah, it all kind of came crumbling down for Lupin as soon as those 2 players up towards the north were taken down. And that's just the danger of having that kind of a setup on the defensive side, you know, not having an extra tank there to take shots on the guys that are crossing. You got too distracted by the Mouses, and, you know, 9 times out of 10, when you see a Mouse, it's a bit more of a distraction for something else that's going on the other side of the map. Yeah. I mean, I know that even I've fallen for that, where I've been like, oh, the Mouse fight's happening, and then the 50B's rotating on the other side of the map, and they're getting a couple of kills, and you just don't even notice it because you're looking at the Mouse. And that's exactly what the defensive side there of Lupin was doing. They were watching the Mouses. Their E3 was getting shots into the Mouses. He wasn't getting shots into the high priority targets that were the Batchats on the cross. And basically, again, I have to go back and say it was a pretty perfect attacking side round coming out from YaTo.
It's what we expected again, though, let's be honest. Now Lupin, you know, when they're on the defense, it doesn't look too successful, but I mean, as you can see here in the replay, it was just this strategy coming through nice and simple from YaTo, and the Batchats really did work. Yeah,
so they take 1 shot of damage on the cross there. Normally, or in an ideal situation for the defensive side, you probably want to take down 1 of those Batchats before they even get to cover. And that gives your teammates in that A line a little bit more room to play with. They don't have that extra damage coming out from 1 more Batchat. They have not necessarily a favorable fight, but it's a much more difficult fight for YaTo to push at that stage. They're going to be a little bit more wary about their HP, but YaTo got across so easily that they didn't even need to worry about their Batchats pushing forward. They both got down to a 1-shot, but it doesn't matter because they're still alive, and that means they can do damage. So, again, not enough done from Lupin on the cross there. I think that was the key defining moment of that one, and while they were getting a lot of damage on the Mouses in mid, those are not the ones that you need to be getting the damage on.
A simplistic play and coming through YaTo will pick up more points at the end of the day.
It sounds so easy when you describe it like, oh, you just push the mouse down mid, you push the bat chats across.
But like, they should be able to read this. I mean, like they're in APAC season. Like they're the top teams coming through in one of the biggest regions. So, well, one of the biggest regions. But they should read this play. Like Lupin have no excuse to not see that coming, right?
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen at least another tank kind of just watching the cross there. If the E3 was going to be the one focusing on the Mausers coming down mid, then fine. He's obviously got the best chance of doing a lot of damage to the Mausers. He can trade pretty effectively with them. But you needed to see something else watching the cross. You know, maybe even a 50B just set up in the town there purely to watch the cross, because all we saw was, I think, one shot coming out from a mouse onto a bat chat that was crossing there. So it wasn't quite enough done from those guys. I think the defensive strategy, it was not awful from Lupin. But again, YaTo just reading it too well, exactly like what they did on Ghost Town.
I was got to say, at the end of the day, look, I mean, have Lupin shown signs of improvement? Do you feel like, I mean, coming into the APAC season in the past when there were Dark Wolves, was it, you know, are we still growing if we're watching Lupin, or is it just kind of the story of how they're going?
It's an interesting question, and I would say that I do think that they have improved from, say, for example, Season 1 through to now, which is about a year's kind of a difference, but they haven't improved as much as the other teams. Karen Tiger, Horse, Team Efficiency have all grown leaps and bounds, particularly in Season 2. That's where we really saw those three teams kind of make their breakout into the top echelons of this region and secure their position there and make it look like it was their own. I mean, Team Efficiency now is the team that we talk about all the time when we're thinking second or third place, bare minimum. Karen Tiger, very, very similar, second or third place, bare minimum. Obviously, no one's touching YaTo at the moment, but those teams sort of used to shuffle around. B-Gaming and Meltdown were kind of still in there in Season 1, but those teams have really improved a lot since Season 1, and I think that goes to show with their results that have come through. And yes, Dark Wolves or Lupin have improved throughout this time that we've been watching the WGL APAC, but they haven't improved to the extent that the other teams have, and so they are still getting left behind.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they can at least pick up a couple more points going through. I mean, honestly, against at the moment, it just looks like a one-sided affair. Picking up that 1 point, and it was just such a clutch, or such a...
It could have gone either way.
I don't think clutch is the right word.
No, it wasn't a clutch, really.
It was a grasp at straws. Yeah, we're about to move to our next map anyway, and see if YaTo can clean this one up.
I'm suspecting that they probably can. We'll see what Lupin's got for us here on the attack. Fairly certain from memory we saw them playing this against Team Efficiency yesterday on Muravanka, and it wasn't that amazing. I mean, there was some potential moments where they could have swung the round in their favor, but they didn't get it done in the end. And so Dark Wolves / Lupin are going to be on the attacking side first here. No, they're on the defensive side first. So they've got the Kranwagen, which I like. They've got the T100 light tank, which I like here on Muravanka. The defensive setup is pretty good, and actually they are kind of adapting from what we saw yesterday against Team Efficiency. Now, they are actually gaining control of that Magic Forest, which is not something that they did yesterday. They gave that up essentially to Team Efficiency, who then coming in on their own defensive side were able to have a pretty easy time. So we'll see what Lupin can do here from that Magic Forest, but at least they've got some map control this time. And if YaTo do make their way in onto that one flag, there are easy angles that you can get resets from in the forest.
It looks like that is definitely the call here, as they're all rotating around and they're pretty much collapsing on this one flag, and you see the rest of Lupin ready to sort of sandwich around and search out for the members of YaTo. But as they come in, the mouse lead the charge and the bat chats on the wing. There's a very simple composition from YaTo, but one that has worked in the past, and we can see that Lupin might be onto this.
Yeah, Lupin have taken so much map control very, very early on in the piece. This T100 LT, he is not under pressure at all. He's just going to continue driving forward until he gets lit or until he gets in the position that he wants to be in. But you can see now that YaTo kind of only have a quarter of the map to work with. They are essentially forced to fight their way out of here if they do want to. And the way that Lupin have kind of set up their defensive side here kind of pushes YaTo into that one flag, and that's exactly what Lupin want here, because look at all those bat chats in the town, number 4, number 1, number 3. They've all got resets onto that cap should things kind of hit the fan really here for Lupin. I don't think that there's going to be too many issues. The 5A here in a bit of a hold down position, he should be able to get some resets onto those Mausers as well. We just need to see the easy resets coming out from Lupin, and it shouldn't be that difficult from them at this point.
So looking to be a good adaptation from Lupin. They've already done a bit of pot damage into YaTo, and still waiting on the wing. We're going to have to see a quick reset because this is getting closer and closer. Expecting it to come through now. Okay. Thank you. Okay, cutting it fine. fine. Elfish cutting it fine.
I was wondering where it was going to come, and unfortunately for number 5 in that 5A, he's been tracked in the most awful position that is possible. YaTo once again going to show their mechanics, coming and reigning in supreme. So even though Lupin had a very, very nice defensive setup here, that 5A has to overextend to go for that reset. Late in the piece, the Batchats weren't there to be able to get the reset. It was a good setup from the Mousers sitting forward on that cap so that it was difficult for the Batchats in the town to get easy resets. And it basically had to come down for that 5A. And as soon as the 5A peeked over the corner or over the ridge, you saw all the Mousers firing in his direction. The track comes across. It probably even was a double track because he would have repaired his instantly. And then there's a free kill coming out for YaTo. At that point, Lupin's lost way too much. Not to mention the fact that one of their Batchats got dropped very, very low in the town as well. Not sure how that ended up happening. But it seems as though YaTo, again, just mechanically speaking, outplaying Lupin a little bit here. So even though the strategy was good for Lupin, the execution wasn't quite there.
Same old story coming through Elfish. We talk about their execution, and right now Lupin is showing us why. They've only got 3 tanks left, and YaToGaming, although it was very close and they were losing their map control, they come back, they just jump onto the point, and they've pretty much won these trades. The execution has been on point. You see this Batchat 25T is going to go down. Hate picks up yet another one. As they sit on this point, only 1 remains, and that Batchat has nowhere to go against 6 tanks.
Yep. I mean, he can outrun the Mousers, but there's still 2 Batchats left alive here for YaTo that can run him down, and he still also has to deal with that cap. So there's no hope at all here for Lupin. YaTo going to be picking up the first half of Runeberg, puts them at 4-1, and now all of a sudden your prediction's looking pretty good.
I know, only lucky though, that's the thing. Yesterday, Brainstorm's predictions, didn't he get the first one right as well?
No, he got the first one dead wrong.
Dead wrong.
He predicted Karen Tiger 5-3, and that was... Didn't even get the team right.
No,
like, come on, mate.
Honestly. Well, at least we'll get the
Call
team
yourself
right.
a World of Tanks.
At least we'll get the teams, well, the way things are going. It looks pretty right. I mean, that is going to be another map. And YaToGaming again, same old question is, what were Lupin doing? Because they did have map control, but the execution, as you pointed out, was just not on point.
Yeah, I mean... It kind of was a bit weird there. Like, I felt as though they could have much easier gotten the reset than what they ended up having to do. Now, obviously, the Mousers of YaTo did push forward on the cap, like I mentioned. That basically nullifies the angle that the Batchats have in the town, but it does leave them very, very open to anyone else that's sitting on the other part of the map there for Lupin. So the 5A, the Kranwagen that was hanging around as well for Lupin, I'm not sure where he even ended up. I'll have a look on the replays, but I don't remember seeing him at all on that game. So not sure what he was doing. And, you know, there was, I think, at least one more tank. It might have been a mouse that was there for Lupin as well. Where was the reset coming out from him? Apparently nowhere. The 5A had to commit way too much for that reset, and of course at that point you have to commit for the reset, and he did make the correct play in that situation, but he shouldn't have been forced into that situation. So even though Lupin got so much map control, they looked like they had the perfect defensive setup to hold that 1 flag. It looked like they had kind of forced YaTo into their trap. They just couldn't get it done. So let me have a look and see, where is the Kranwagen? Number 9, he's sitting up on the kind of F2, F3 position, which is where you want your Kranwagen to be, but he didn't get anything really done, I don't think, there. Number 10, the mouse playing a little bit further back, so maybe he wasn't in a position to get a reset there, but you still need to be seeing that come across. And actually, the Kranwagen did rotate a lot further back. He was afraid of getting YOLO'd by those 2 Batchats up there by YaTo, which is fair enough kind of a rotation, but there was no resets that came across really of substance for Lupin when they needed to come across. I mean, at this point here, the resets have come across, but it's too little too late. Lupin has sacrificed way too much HP for it. So YaTo, pretty nicely played from them. Even though they do walk into the defensive setup of Lupin, they make it work. That tracking shot on the 5A was absolutely sublime.
Expect nothing less right now from YaToGaming. So they pick up number 4. We continue on forward and see if they can do the same thing in defense. It's the same old question of where do they fall behind? Oh, well, I mean, defense not regularly, but after that one game, we do have a couple of questions. And
yeah, here on Muravanka, it is a map that you can kind of come a little bit unstuck on the defensive side if you make a misplay. A lot of the time we do see if a team goes very, very quickly onto that cap that YaTo were on, and the defensive side have set up incorrectly. They've set up for a 2-flag defense or something like that. They just don't have anyone there to get a reset. They have to sacrifice way too much for the reset, and that can be a problem here. So I expect, you know, it's probably not going to be an issue for YaTo, to be honest, but if they do put themselves in a poor defensive position, there is always the opportunity that Lupin can bring this one through to 4-2 with a quick kind of cap play or something like that. But if it does come down to sort of a brawl in those late round situations, the clutch situations, I'd be probably backing YaTo 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, as we did in predictions anyway, so it makes perfect sense.
Well, predictions, we kind of back them 10 times out of 10. Every single prediction
they let you down.
Yeah,
not me.
Let me down, yeah. But, I mean, you and I both predicted YaTo, production predicted YaTo, even Tim predicted YaTo, got his prediction.
Better than them predicting RSGaming. You know?
Yeah, that was a little bit interesting, wasn't it? But, yeah, look, I mean, I think there's no real questions that YaTo coming into this one were obviously the favourite. And they're going to show exactly why they are that. They are, you know, mechanically speaking, a little bit better. The strategic side of things is looking a little bit better for them as well, particularly that one on Runeberg, the game on Ghost Town. They're just reading the play a little bit better at the moment than Lupin are. Happens every time.
You want to try that one again?
Every time. It's like I'm on this great rant about something and then just Dark Wolves.
Like, oh! Did you count how many times you did it yesterday?
I didn't, and I don't want to.
That's
probably
right.
too many would be the answer.
Oh, okay. I'd say not enough, you know. Got to always bring it back coming through. But on this defense, let's see how they fare. Let's see if Dark Wolves, a.k.a. Lupin. All right, now I just thought I'd file in. So, because if you think...
You're just trying to save face. You just make a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to look good. If you think, Jordan, I have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I don't belong.
Oh, well, look. We'll get there. We'll get there one day.
Oh my God,
all you got to do is just make mistakes between Dark Wolves and Lupin, and it's gonna happen as well when we start seeing Last Memories play as well, because they were known as B-Gaming last season. Their roster is pretty much the exact same roster coming through as well. So I reckon there's going to be a few B-bombs coming through here.
And you reckon the Coalition Zoo as well?
Well, they're not actually in this season, so a little unfortunate. Good trades. Coalition Zoo didn't make their way through from the Silver Mavericks, but it definitely would have happened, I think, had that been the case. Had they managed to make their way through 7 Pirates in that promotion match, and they were actually in this APAC season, I think I probably would have had a few more slip of the tongues as well.
That's
in that aspect.
You and me both. It'll come naturally to us by the end of the APAC season coming through. But I am still really looking forward to what we can see from Lupin in this last change of face and potentially their last stand coming through in this series for week number 1. And already they've come off with a bit of a rough start, but I think...
To be expected as well. They have gone up against 2 of the heavyweights, I suppose, of the APAC region. And I say heavyweights, we sort of came into this season with not a massive understanding of how well YaTo was going to do, but there was the assumption that they were going to be able to at least challenge for some of those top spots.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think it's fair to call them heavyweights at this point. They are doing a pretty good job so far. Having a look at how these tank lineups are looking here on the attack for Lupin, lots of bad chats, lots of mobility. A T57 heavy is a little bit interesting. We'll see where that does end up getting set up. But YaTo, they've got a good defensive setup here already for the strategy that Lupin's going for. You can see Lupin want to get into that 1 flag. There's not a massive setup by the 2 flag. Just Hate here in his T100 LT, spotting out that 2 flag should Lupin go in that direction. So already good sort of a setup here on the defense for YaTo.
You see that Batchat is making its way down, being very cautious, and Hate will receive. But already pretty aggressive coming through from Lupin, and YaTo taking quite a lot.
What is going on here? He is massively overextended. This is a huge error coming out.
He's dead. He's gone.
That was not very, very well played at all by Illusion. He needed to be doing better than that. And now that really puts YaTo on the back foot.
What a mistake coming through. YaToGaming already under pressure. Here we go. The Batchat rotating through.
Key coming out here for YaTo. Bang. He's going to get himself in a perfect position. There's no one to deny him there as well. No one from Lupin has got control in the town. And he's going to get easy resets into the back of the WZ11158. This is Lupin, again, their mechanics just not, or not even mechanics. This one is more of a strategic error. Again, this is what we saw against Team Efficiency, where they gave up too much of the control in the town, too much of the control in the forest, and they allowed easy resets to come across when they were on their attacking side. Now, it's not going to cost them too much because they have such a massive advantage already. Hate kind of overextending a little bit there as well, does get taken down, but that is an error coming out from Lupin, and it's only, I suppose, eclipsed by the error that Lucian made earlier on in this round to essentially throw his tank away for free. So Lupin should still be able to pick this up from here, but it hasn't been 100% clean.
Yeah, after that mistake, I mean, look, Lupin did get some brownie points, but throw it right back, and now still trying to push through. We will see another one go down. This could be really good for Lupin as they are still to do more and more damage, but Lupin taking some big shots here, and YaToGaming definitely not out yet. It is going to be a 4v7. They're coming through. WZ111 is still getting shots off. Still coming through. There we go. Reflection in a lot of trouble. That's another one going down. This could be really good for Lupin.
It is going to be really good for Lupin. There's no way that YaTo is going to come back from this here with a 3 versus 7 tank disadvantage. Even though the health is, you know, pretty reasonable for YaTo, they have enough HP to play with here. You can't deal with this many guns with only so few of your own. Lupin have got so much room to maneuver. They're bad chats. I mean, he can drive into the 3 of them and basically not have any kind of problems at all. He's not even off the reload. Like, that's how aggressive he was. Now, finally, he's going to be able to clip out onto Tian Tian. He's maybe going to take 1 shot for his trouble, but it's an easy cleanup for him.
Yep.
And overall, I think that really does just come down to that early misplay coming out from Lupin in the 5A, getting tracked on top of the hill. That just cannot happen. He overextended too much. He was too greedy, looking for a free shot into the side of one of those tanks as they got on the cap. And at the end of the day, that 1 shot that he would get in is, you know, the risk versus reward coming out from that is really nowhere near fair in his favor. So he kind of overextended a little bit there. Did get punished for it. That's good work from Lupin. And you know, who knows how that round could have gone had he played a little bit safer there, a bit more passive.
Yeah, but Lupin picking up another point. I mean, that was good capitalization, making a couple of mistakes on the way, but at the end of the day, the results are the same. And coming through, what you said from Lupin, yeah, I mean, forcing himself up there and just trying to get some easy shots off. That was a little bit too aggressive coming through from YaTo Gaming, and same old story in defense. Are they really on point?
I don't know, they do seem to be just trying to force the issue a little bit too much sometimes on the defense. So that was, again, I think it just comes down to that single mistake.
Impatience a little bit coming through as well.
The impatience, yeah, exactly. So what would have happened in that round, hard to say. If things would have gone as they should. I feel as though YaTo was in a bit of a better position if Lupin wouldn't have gone down there. They had the 3 5As around the front. They had Bang getting into the town pretty safely. We inevitably did see Lupin YOLOing in onto Bang to try and force him out of there, but if there was the extra threat of another 5A in their direction, would they have gone for that kind of a play, or would Bang have been able to clip out a little bit more? So many questions, no answers, unfortunately, but the answer is Lupin did pick up the round win there. So it was pretty nicely played from them to be able to capitalize on the mistakes that YaTo was making.
Exactly right. And again, Lupin, big question marks coming through in this replay. I mean, there was some good rotations coming through afterwards from YaTo Gaming, but I think it was too little too late. And like you said, that decrease of firepower with Lupin going down, instant disadvantage, and Lupin did actually capitalize nice this time.
Yeah, definitely. And not just the decrease in firepower, it's just the extra presence that another tank is going to have. I mean, you lose a tank for free, it's essentially 6v7, you know, so obviously you can play a lot more aggressively with your HP. You can say, look, I can go for something here that maybe I wouldn't necessarily do if we were at kind of an equal HP kind of situation. So Lupin there, they had a lot more freedom. As soon as they took down that extra 5A, they had a lot more map control to be able to work with, and things were just a little bit easier for them when those fights did eventuate. But that is going to be a 1-for-1 there on Muravanka. And, you know, I did say if we were going to see some rounds lost, it would be Muravanka and Runeberg. Now, the fashion in which Runeberg was lost there for YaTo, bit surprising. Thought it was going to be flipped on its head, defensive for attack. But anyway, 1-for-1 there on Runeberg and for Muravanka. Those are both the maps of Lupin's choice. Yep. Which now means we're heading on to the next one here for YaTo, which is Mines. They did go 1 for... Actually, no, they did go down 0-2 yesterday to Karen Tiger on Mines. So that may be a cause for concern, but I feel as though, again, things should be pretty decent here for YaTo coming into this one. I can't see them dropping both rounds against Lupin.
Definitely not. I think we're looking pretty confident for YaTo Gaming to at least pick up a 1-for-1. If it's not even going to get to that stage, let's be honest. But the offense, their specialty, and something I've been driving to you guys at home time and time again, from what little I know, is that the aggression comes out, and when it comes out, YaTo Gaming look to be in form. A couple of little mistakes in the defense, but I think that's something they can shore up after week 1, and I think that's something they can look at and how to develop to be more like a team of EL Gaming.
I think that aggressive kind of mentality and playstyle is quite nice actually when you're going onto a map like Mines. It's a very small map. There's a lot of options for the defensive side to play aggressively here as well, and we did see that happening a lot last season, particularly from EL Gaming, like what you mentioned, where a lot of the time they would force their Batchats or a couple of their heavy tanks up onto the hill and take a bit of a brawl there, and then they'd have Batchats wrapping around the back of the mine and catching that kind of a crossfire setup. So we'll see whether or not YaTo, if they do start on the defensive side here, are going to go for something aggressive like that, or if of course, they start on the attacking side, then I think we can probably bet bottom dollar that they are going to be running straight into that hill. They're going to have a bunch of bat chats. They might have a TVP or two in there as well, just to take early control of that hill. And from there on out, they can probably work the map, use the zero line boost, use the beach on the side of the map, and just take control of the map ever so slowly. I mean, even artillery is an option coming out from them. We did see that yesterday against Karen Tiger. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of artillery sometimes on mines, unless you've got a very, very good artillery player. So I think we have to wait and see whether or not that's going to develop here for YaTo. I'm not sold on their arty play.
Someone like Obelisk or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Obelisk, yep. Let's pick him up every day of the week.
You got excited yesterday when he came onto the field.
Dude, you have no idea. This guy, if you go back and watch the VODs from last season on Prokhorovka, Karen Tiger playing on Prokhorovka, he just doesn't miss. It's insane.
Saw it yesterday. Absolutely went nuts.
I don't know. Like, he wasn't as impactful yesterday, I don't think, though, as he was last season.
For me,
so.
Right.
He might have been exciting for you, but for us OG World of Tanks
You're
guys,
the OG. I'm not the OG. I'm Scrub. I'm like, I'm a spork. I'm a spork.
Yeah, I want to see more of Opalisk this season before I really sort of give him back that god kind of title that he had last season in the artillery.
He's got to earn it.
Yeah, like if I had Opalisk in my lineup and we were playing on an open map, he'd be playing, right? And that's exactly what Karen Tiger did last season. But from what we saw yesterday of him, you know, it wasn't that impactful that he was going to be a 100% pick on any kind of open map. You know, you can go for some different strategies. You can put someone else in his position. You know, maybe someone like Hellcry, who we didn't see yesterday for Karen Tiger, but he was very, very impactful last season for Karen Tiger. But obviously that's a discussion for when we do get to watch CT playing once more. Now we're going to be getting in onto Mines with the scoreline at 4-2 in the favor of YaTo. And YaTo here, 5 A's, 113s, bat chats. Pretty light lineup, all things considered. They're going to be very, very mobile, and I wonder here if they're going to take a bit of a fight on this hill. They're pushing up in that direction. No shots come across. Well, there's no penetrating shots come across on the bat chats there, so Lupin do get away scot-free. But now they've got a bunch of 5As, a bunch of 113s to deal with, and this TVP, he's overextended and takes a huge chunk of damage.
Let's see how he gets out. I don't think there's much hope at the moment. We'll just hide back and hope that YaTo leave him alone. You know the answer there is definitely going to be no, but
he's actually pretty safe in that position there. If YaTo were to try and push and try and get that kill, he can just drop down the back behind them, and they're going to take a lot of damage on the crossfire there, YaTo, if they do manage to or try to push in there. But the key right now here for YaTo, we're not actually watching. What's really important is that bang, up on that hill, here we go. This is exactly what we need to see. He's up on that hill doing lots of damage. He recognized that those bat chats took control of the hill there for Lupin, and he thought, all right, what do I need to do? Oh, I get free shots from up on the boost, up on the climb. He does that, clips out, and now look at the HP pool for Lupin. All their bat chats are so damaged, all their 5As are so damaged, and the only one with any HP to speak of really is the mouse.
YaTo pushing forward here. It is just a glory story for Lupin, as they regret to inform you that their health bars are running low. The mouse even taking damage. This is not good for Lupin whatsoever. YaTo are having a field day with this lineup, as more and more shots will get bounced in. Here we go again. The mouse trying to push up, but will take damage for it. We're going to go on the right-hand wing here, following up the line.
There's a suicide. Driving off the
We have to have one every day, Elfish. It's got to happen, and right here, it had to be from Lupin right now, doesn't it?
It did. Corsa's taken a couple of shots there from his counterpart in the bat chat, but he's not too worried. He sees all the 5As backing him up, and actually bounces a shot there as well. Number 2 bat chat is either going to die driving off this cliff, or he's going to die to one of the tanks. And so, YaTo, it wasn't, I mean, a super aggressive kind of a play there, to be honest. Like, they didn't push over, they didn't force the fight, they just got an opening there to get the damage on the TVP. They took it, they focused him down, he was a one-shot, he has no more impact on the game now. Because in a TVP, you need to sort of be sitting there for a little while to get your shots off, because he's got obviously an autoloader, so it takes him 4 or 5 seconds to get those shots off. That's a long window to be open, and you can't be trading with a 5A in a TVP. You know, you peek out, you do a little bit of damage, the 5A hits you for 500. You're like, okay, well that wasn't very fair. And then the guy going up on the counter boost there from YaTo, I think it was Bang, up in his bat chat. As soon as he got up there, that game was over.
That's right. Great positioning coming through from YaTo, and at the end of the day, I mean, picking up that defense, that was solid, that was quick. I mean, on Mines, I think yesterday, would you say 0-2?
Yeah, they lost 0-2 to Karen Tiger.
You know, team like that, you wouldn't expect to lose 0-2. Like, that was a very different performance.
Yeah, but Karen Tiger is a very, very good team on
That's
mics,
true.
generally speaking. So I think that's fair enough. YaTo did make some of those rounds relatively close against Karen Tiger, but yeah, that was dominant.
Very different lineup from Lupin, yeah.
And that sort of setup that they had as well, they played it how they needed to. They knew that they had the 5As, they knew that they had the good gun depression, the good alpha damage, the nice turret armor as well, push up on the hill, play that situation well, free damage onto the TVP. I mean, how does that even happen? I don't know. And then Bang...
He tilted a little bit.
It's all over. As soon as Bang's up here on this climb, you know, there's nothing that Lupin's going to be able to do because he can get shots onto all of those bat chats, and they had nowhere to go. If they were to cross back down, the WZ shoot them. I mean, they can drive off the side, but then that's giving up the hill, and YaTo then has massive map control because Lupin's all just stuck in like the DC sort of 4-5 area.
That's right. Forced into a corner and a very clean round coming through from YaTo. I don't even think they lost one in the end. But impressive performance and what we wanted to see from a couple of the other defenses, but this time they're going to clean it out with a 5-2, and Lupin really getting forced into a corner.
Indeed. And so now they go down 0-2. They haven't picked up any points this week.
Yep.
Not a good start for Lupin, which admittedly was anticipated.
Yep.
Good start for YaTo, though. They pick up a clean win. They pick up a tiebreaker win. So, you know, they get some good points on the board here. And there is a decent chance, actually, that coming out of this first week, they will be in the lead. Depends on how Team Efficiency and EL go. If Team Efficiency can clean up EL Gaming, then, yeah, then Team Efficiency is going to be number one. But
big call.
It's hard to predict that. I'm not sure what my prediction is going to be just yet. I have to think about it during the break that's going to be coming up here between these two matches. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one coming up here between Team Efficiency and EL Gaming. That is for sure.
Yeah, but Lupin have opportunities. I mean, we haven't seen 7 Pirates play yet. I mean, let's see how they go up against some of the potentially the other
Memories, for example, as well, did have a pretty poor season last season, where we expected them to come in and be one of the top teams, and then they kind of ended up in 6th. So there's another team that maybe these guys on Lupin have a pretty good shot against. And we'll see how, you know, we haven't seen Horseman playing yet either. We'll see how they go this season. They haven't had too many roster changes, but again, I mean, maybe things just go kind of bottoms up for Horseman this season, and we see a return to power maybe from someone like Last Memories, or we see Dark Wolves, Lupin on a bit of a rise. Yeah,
definitely many weeks to go and definitely many opportunities to go for this team. But YaTo Gaming coming out strong with a second win in 2 days, and this week 1 really situates them up there, and I'm glad we got to see their performance coming through because they are a rising star.
They definitely are. So, speaking of rising stars, we'll see which of the stars of Team Efficiency or EL Gaming is going to be coming up and rising to the top after this next game. We're going to be going to a quick break, guys. It'll be about 10 minutes, but after that one, we're going to have the blockbuster match for this week. It is Team Efficiency and EL Gaming. Do not go anywhere. The bat chat shots coming in from Bang as well onto the E4. In the end, it's actually going to be Tian to get a kill there as well. The E4 does go down there. Again, his side, they can dump their clip in there with the aid of a bat chat as well. They will be able to take a tank down, but they have to play with. Still, the 113 is the concern, and now Bang should be going down here in that bat chat. He has no clips loaded.
Absolutely, he's going to get flanked here, and there we go. Number 4 going to take him down.
The reset. The tanks are in the favor of YaTo. The timer is in the favor of YaTo as well. They've got plenty of time to close this one out. I don't see Lupin coming up with anything from here.
That's right. Already 3 up, now 2. You're counting stars right now. It's 2 mouths sit in the middle, ready to be taken away, and from all angles. Number 3 is going to be the last. Look at this. It's firing squad, baby. Take him down.
1 or 2 shots. And at the moment, he's not even getting shots
just playing with him.
They're not trades anymore. He's just taking damage. Good for Lupin. The execution wasn't quite there.
Same old story coming through, Elfish. We talk about their execution, and right now Lupin is showing us.
It's looking pretty good.
I know. Only lucky, though. That's the thing. Yesterday, Brainstorm's predictions. Didn't he get the first one right as well? No. Coming through, WZ111 is still getting shots off. Still coming through. There we go. Deflection in a lot of trouble. That's another one going down.
There's 1 shot for his trouble, but it's an easy cleanup for him.
Yep.
And overall, I think that really does just come down to that early misplay coming out from Lusion in the 5A, getting tracked on top of the hill. That just cannot happen. He overextended too much. He was too greedy, looking for a free shot into the side of one of those tanks if they got him. Corsa's taken a couple of shots there from his counterpart in the bat chat, but he's not too worried. He sees all the 5As backing him up, and actually bounces a shot there as well. Number 2 bat chat is either going to die driving off the cliff or is going to die.
Yo, listen to this. Good morning.
Hello and welcome back to the WGL APAC Extended Season 2017. It's now time for our final match of week number 1. And what a match it is going to be to end this one out. Team Efficiency up against EL Gaming. This is a matchup that is steeped in history.
That's right, the rivalry continues, the grudge match coming through.
I love this kind of like music that we've got going.
Something to prove. The music even agrees with
like,
Elfish.
Yeah, I'll just hype this up, man. Like Team Efficiency, EL Gaming, way back when in Season 1, over a year ago. Well, not over a year ago, I guess, because it wasn't really. But at the Season 1 finals, basically a year ago, Team Efficiency versus EL Gaming. Team Efficiency gets knocked out by EL Gaming 7-2. Then we come into Season 2. Team Efficiency defeats EL Gaming 5-4 in the first time that they meet up. Second time they meet up, Team Efficiency beats EL Gaming 5-4. Third time they meet up, EL Gaming gets one back 5-2 against Team Efficiency. So
technically it's 2-2, right?
It is technically 2-2. Final time they've met, last time they met at the Grand Finals of APAC last season. 7-2 in the favor of EL Gaming. Team Efficiency went down like a sack of bricks, really. They did not show up to that matchup at all. Sometimes you got to be cruel to be kind, and yeah, that was not a great performance from Team Efficiency. So, coming into this one here, we'll see whether or not they're going to be able to turn things around, whether or not they're going to be able to repeat their performances of last season, bring it to a 5-4 victory, maybe even do better. It all comes down to, well, not only the map picks, but just how Team Efficiency is feeling on the day.
Exactly right, and remember that these guys will face each other more than once. It is
Twice,
a double. Yeah, that's right. That's more than once. Come on, Elfish, just getting towards it.
Yeah, look, I just like stealing your thunder.
That's all right. Look, apparently that happened yesterday with Brainstorm. I don't mind it. You can have all my thunder and my lightning combined. That's kind of dirty.
It does sound a little bit. Yeah, let's talk after.
We'll talk after.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting excited again.
Get these bow ties off.
But like, these guys, they'll verse each other at the start of the season, I assume at the end as well.
Yes.
Close to the end. So they have an opportunity to sort of get that early win, and then later on in the season, that's when it will really count, I assume, because these teams are our top 2 preferred, or at least up there for the time being.
I would be, at the moment, predicting these 2 teams towards the top echelon of things, but obviously we haven't seen all of the teams playing this season. So far, we've only seen, Team Efficiency, Karen Tiger, YaTo. We haven't seen EL Gaming yet. We haven't seen Last Memories yet. We haven't seen 7 Pirates yet. All these teams could come in, have poor performances or have great performances and shift our opinions. So obviously, judging off last season, definitely Team Efficiency was a cut above the sort of 3-4-5 pack, and EL Gaming was a cut above Team Efficiency in general. But whether or not that's going to change this season, we will have to find out. Now, I was talking a little bit to Team Efficiency last night, or a couple of their players, seeing how they feel coming into this one, and they're feeling fairly comfortable. JT even told me they've got something up their sleeve, so we'll have to wait and see what that is going to be. Hopefully, it's going to be something that's going to be able to tip the scales in their favor, but the EL Gaming that I know, they're going to be coming into this one very, very prepared. They've had very, very minor roster changes. I think they've brought in 1 new player. Everyone else coming through is from last season, essentially. So it's basically the same EL Gaming roster that we're going to be knowing and loving, or loving to hate, depends on which side of the fence you do sit on.
Probably outside of the fence.
Yeah, so they're going to be a very, very strong team here. So Team Efficiency have definitely got their work cut out for them, but if Team Efficiency could pick up the win here, it's an excellent start to the first season.
Exactly.
A scalp against EL Gaming is massive.
Exactly right, and Team Efficiency have their returning roster as well. I think it's only 1 player that they've brought in, or is it 2? The returning roster coming through. We have pretty much all of them. 6 out of the 7. Core roster. I mean, they kind of have a bit more of a weird roster where they have like 8 kind of core members. But obviously, Bohan has departed from the Team Efficiency roster. They've got Bales in, so that's really the only major change. Dexter and Bolognese are still there, as well as obviously all the other core members from last season. Players like JP, Kane, those guys are all out of the roster, but we didn't really see much of them last season anyway, so that's kind of a muchness as far as I'm concerned. You want to see those core players coming through again for Team Efficiency and stepping up once more, which, I mean, they did fairly well yesterday. There was some errors coming out from them. It was a little bit shaky, I think, against Lupin, but it wasn't awful, and they certainly didn't let the errors kind of slip into their gameplay more often than was basically necessary for Lupin to pick up a couple of rounds. If things would have snowballed and Team Efficiency would have lost that series, then we could definitely be asking some questions, raising some eyebrows. But Team Efficiency got it done fairly well, and now how they're going to do against EL Gaming,
we shall find out.
I'm sure they've tightened things up, and I'm sure for today especially, like, this will be more of things on the line as we do move into the map vetoes now as well. And Mines and Cliff banned away by EL Gaming.
Mines taken away there by Team Efficiency. 100% agree with that decision. Mines was the best map of EL Gaming last season. Mines a map which Team Efficiency struggled on last season. Yesterday we saw them dropping around to Lupin on that one. I think they've got a few things to shore up on Mines here. So fair enough decision from them. Cliff banned away by EL Gaming. Can't really comment on that too much. It was a map that they got rid of quite a lot, and I see your reaction. I see the pick here from Team Efficiency, and that is the ace in the hole that Team Efficiency was talking about yesterday to me. Sand River. It's going to be the first time we do get to see it, and I wonder what they've got prepared for us for this one. I mean, I wonder if EL Gaming is going to be prepared for Team Efficiency on this map, because we did see them, you know, I mean, I've seen FoxTS in chat saying he's not a fan of Sand River. So that basically means I don't think EL Gaming is going to be too keen for that one. Himmelsdorf, the pick of EL Gaming, a very, very strong map for them last season. 71% win rate overall on that map. So they're going to be a tough opponent on that one. Then Ghost Town taken away from EL Gaming. Another one of those maps that they did struggle on last season, particularly against Team Efficiency. They have dropped that map 2-0 to TE, so I can definitely agree with that one getting taken away, and Muravanka getting rid of by Team Efficiency. Definitely agree with that one as well. Not sure I'm a huge fan of Muravanka in general, but Team Efficiency are obviously not too big of fans of that one as well. So Prokhorovka and Runeberg, and this is a very, very similar kind of map pool to what we saw almost every time last season between Team Efficiency and EL Gaming. The only exception being Sand River is in there and something like Cliff is not. So the fact that EL Gaming doesn't have to ban steps anymore because it's been taken out of the map pool is a massive bonus for them, considering also it was one of Team Efficiency's better maps. But we've seen them playing on Himmelsdorf, we've seen them playing on Prokhorovka, and we've seen them playing on Runeberg. So if you would have seen Cliff there instead of Sand River, this would have almost exactly been the same as what those matches were last season, which went to 5-4 in the favor of Team Efficiency. So I think the trump card here is that Sand River, how they're going to go on that one. If they can get the 2-0 there, then I can definitely foresee them picking up this this series win. But if things go maybe one apiece there, if they drop it even 0-2 to EL Gaming, you know, we know that EL Gaming is very capable of getting that 2-0 on Himmelsdorf. We've seen them getting the 2-0 there on Runeberg as well against Team Efficiency when Team Efficiency made some errors on that map last season. So there are so many variables in this map pool that could go either way. I think really the only one which I'm fairly sort of safe in saying a prediction would be maybe Prokhorovka, which I think could go one apiece. Yeah, okay.
But with Cliff now off by EL Gaming, predictions-wise, do you think that makes a big enough of an impact? Do you think we'll see Ghost Town in that tiebreaker today?
I'm probably feeling that we're not going to be seeing the tiebreaker coming into this one. Team Efficiency, much as I love those guys, I am going to predict EL Gaming here. They're going to hate me for it. But EL Gaming 5-3 is my prediction. I know it's gone 5-4 in the past with Team Efficiency, but I think the head-to-head, even though it is 2 apiece, is favourable for EL Gaming. The last 2 matches that they've played against each other have gone the way of EL Gaming fairly convincingly as well. 5-2, 7-2. So unless that Sand River is going to be a real 2-0, a really strong start here for Team Efficiency that gets the momentum flowing for them, I'm thinking that EL Gaming have probably got this one just a little bit over Team Efficiency.
Yeah, look, it does raise question marks for me, and I think Sand River as well, because we don't know as much as we probably should know, and especially the competitive meta on that map. But coming through, I think EL Gaming will come and take a 5-4. It will be close, and I think we will see Ghost Town coming through. I think Team Efficiency showed what they're capable of yesterday, and EL Gaming coming through as their first game or their first series in this season is really going to shake things up, but they will fight their way ahead of the end. Yeah,
I mean, the thing for EL Gaming here is that they kind of have everything to prove against Team Efficiency. We'll talk about that in a second. Production going the same way as me, 5-3 for EL Gaming. I know Tim predicted 5-4 to EL Gaming, very, very similar to you. So we're all in agreement that we do think EL Gaming is coming in to this one as the favoured team. But again, I mean, I have to take it with a grain of salt. EL Gaming coming in as the favoured team. We've said that time and time again against Team Efficiency, and they have lost to Team Efficiency before. It is by no means a sure thing here for EL Gaming. That is something to stress, because, I mean, Team Efficiency twice last season were able to defeat them, and it's definitely possible that they're going to be able to do it again here. But what I was talking about just before there, where Team Efficiency, they have nothing really to lose here. They are expected to go into this one as the underdog. EL Gaming, they have everything to prove. They're the best team in the region. Everyone knows them. Everyone, all their eyes are upon them. And if they lose this one to Team Efficiency in a more convincing fashion even than a 5-4, that's a massive blow to, I think, the respect that a lot of people are going to give them. So it's so crucial for EL Gaming to come out here and start off with a win in their first match. Imagine that, YaTo going down in their first match in the APAC season. What a surprise that would be. But here we go on to Sand River. The first time we're going to be getting to see this one here in the WGL APAC. And the tank lineups, I think, are fairly standard coming across here for both of these teams. 5As coming across for both of them. Batchats coming across for both of them. T100 LTs for both as well. The only real difference is that mouse that you can see coming out for Team Efficiency. But JT, he's going for a bit of a spotting run here. And I think he's probably proxy spotted hardliner there. Black has spotted him out as well. So he's going to get a bit of information off the back of this. Meanwhile, you can see the rest of the Team Efficiency lineup are setting up on that JK kind of line.
Yeah, that T100 LT just going to go around and pretty much try and get a little bit more information if he can. And he spots forward, and the rest of the lineup of Team Efficiency are playing this nice and slow. A lot of Batchats on Sand River here today, but see how that affects and see if that mouse makes much of an impact for Team Efficiency on their offense.
Now, the one thing that I did notice about Sand River here, obviously I haven't seen this being played too much in a competitive format. Did watch a little bit of the WGL RU, which was going on last night. I think it was their first match day, and Sand River was being played there. But the thing about this map is that those cap circles are very, very open. There's nowhere that you can really sit a tank on. There's no bushes. There's nothing like that. So it's going to be tough, I think, for teams to actually get in and put a lot of cap pressure on either of these ones, with the exception of that 2 flag. It is a little bit behind that cover there. You can see there are some sort of defilade that they can maybe hide behind, assuming obviously that the defensive team doesn't have control of that 8-9 sort of A8 kind of area, A9 kind of area, because they can get shots down that angle, and that could cause some problems coming out here for the attackers. But while we've got a bit of a downtime here, we might as well have a bit of a look at this YaTo roster, because there are some new names in there. We do see YaTo coming out. Obviously, he played on Horseman last season. He was a very, very strong player late in the season. He came into... oh, JT's going to do a bit of damage to himself. That's the danger of the light tanks these days. They do go for a bit of a fly sometimes. But YaTo, playing for Horseman last season, he came into their team late in the season and had a very, very good performance. So I'm not really too surprised to see YaTo picking him up. M1 is Principal coming through from last season as well. He's just had a bit of a name change, and I'm not sure exactly who number 9 is, but I think we can probably sort of take a bit of a guess and try and figure out who it is when we do have a look at their roster. Let's have a look and see. So it could be Nightmare, it could be S4, who is a new player for their roster. Obviously, Nightmare even is the former player for YaTo, now manager for their lineup, but still a very, very strong player on World of Tanks. I think it might be Fox TS, though, if I had to take a guess. I mean, he is their core player. He is their captain. I'd be very surprised to not see Fox TS coming in here for this YaTo roster. So my guess is that number 9 is Fox TS. But apart from that, it's basically the same LDL roster.
Oh, now we're seeing a push coming through instantly, and they're going to start on the cap and instantly reset. The Batchat, taking a pot. Oh, baby. Too much coming through here from the T100, and the help of Team Efficiency as they will find their first YaTo. Bit of a mistake coming through. It's
a massive pickup there for for Team Efficiency, even though, because YaTo there, I mean, that was an overextension from YaTo. He was going for an information play, but he did it on his own. He had no backup there. He was in what was a 1v3 situation, and he goes down as a result. Now, JT has taken a lot of damage. He's down to 65 HP, but he's still a potent threat. Now, T100 LT of Black is going to go and head in there onto Skell. Quiet backing him up. This is a good play from YaTo. They've recognized that they have an isolated Batchat. There's no way that Skell should survive here. I think best case scenario for Skell here is that he needs to try and put as much damage out as he can. Bit of damage coming across, though, from a crossfire from Team Efficiency. I'm not sure who exactly it was. Perhaps the mouse, number 5, was getting some shots there, and that might even be enough here for Skell to back out into safety. Quiet and Black, though, they do seem pretty keen to continue that chase, and in the meanwhile, on the other side of the map, there's everything going on here at the moment, Jake. On the 2 flag, 10 seconds left. There needs to be a reset coming out from YaTo, and it looks like it's going to have to be Hardliner to push forward around that corner to get the reset, but he gets absolutely dominated in doing so, and it's down to M1 now. He needs that reset. 1 second, and it does come across just in time.
Yeah, Hardliner does go down, and M1 has to back off. This is potential for Team Efficiency right here, who look to be playing Sand River amazingly so far, but really, really aggressive play. The Batchat will find out WZ111, and 2-on-1 is not fair by any means. Team Efficiency, although their cap has been reset, it will still be a great start, potentially taking their 3rd tank here now.
Oh dear, 2 bounces coming out from number 6 Batchat onto the 5A, and that means that this 5A is going to be able to do a little bit more damage than you would have thought. Any day of the week you would think that those 2 shells should be penetrating that 5A, and so that is a little bit of a misplay there from Team Efficiency. We'll see whether or not it is going to cost them here. At the moment they still have a massive advantage. They should be able to close this out, but they are bleeding a lot of HP, and this is staying relatively close even here between the 2 teams. There's another shot that connects and does no damage, and eventually number 7, that's Safi, does go down for Team Efficiency. Now again, have to reiterate that they do have a massive health advantage. They have equal tanks, but they are having some mechanical errors here where things are, you know, maybe if YaTo had an extra tank to play with, if they had a little bit more HP to play with, they might have been able to hang in there. But it does seem as though Team Efficiency should be able to close this one out from here.
Great cleanup crew from Team Efficiency there. You see only 1 tank left, and it is Quiet on the Batchat. He's going to be alone. And Quiet is a great name because right now, Team Efficiency looking to shut them up in game number 1. Sand River on the offense right now will most likely go over to Team Efficiency.
I think it's pretty much a sure thing at this point. Quiet's a one-shot for any of these tanks that are going to shoot at him. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how Sand River does get played out there for the first time here in WGL APAC. Now, obviously Skell surviving was kind of a big deal, but perhaps he was safer than I really thought. It's kind of hard to kind of guess these firing lines that some of these 2 teams do have. So Skell getting out of there when he was in a 2v1 kind of a situation. Good result there for Team Efficiency. Hokyao basically giving up his life to Team Efficiency, snowballing things in their favor. Team Efficiency then decide, you know what, we're taking these fights, we've got the tank advantage, we can push in, we can outplay these guys, and really, even though there was some things that didn't go Team Efficiency's way, like bouncing 2 of those shots off the 5A, you know, they still had enough of an advantage to be able to close that one out. The cap pressure that they put on there was pretty good. They had a really good bait with Skell there. I mean, he drew 2 of the tanks over while the cap was going on over on the other side of the map. And so YaTo, they were sort of all over the place there on Sand River, just like my casting pretty much in that one. But it was it was a good performance from Team Efficiency, a good start for them there, and now they're 1-0 up. Let's see if they can follow up on their own defensive side.
I mean, honestly, it looks like defense there is you know, really opportunistic, and YaTo maybe not taking full advantage of that wide open space around that first flag. Like the cap points should be easy to position around, correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to say because we haven't seen it played too much, but I think that just the general setup that YaTo had there, they had a very, very strong kind of hold on the 1 flag. There was no way that anyone was going to get in there from Team Efficiency without suffering a lot of damage and probably dying before they even got to the cap. But they did have a very, very weak defense on the 2 flag, and Team Efficiency identified that pretty well. JT going on the scouting run all around the places and figuring out that there's only maybe 1 or 2 players up towards this area, and so they commit to that flag. They get players on that cap, and Hokyao, he just got the timing wrong. I'm not sure really what he was doing there, to be honest. Like, he could have been going for an information play or just trying to get a bit of position to shoot down into that 2 flag if Team Efficiency did push on there. But he certainly didn't know that there was going to be that many tanks hanging around waiting for him. And it cost him his life. It really put a massive advantage in the shoes of Team Efficiency to start things off in that round. And so pretty impressive start there from Team Efficiency. That looked really solid over YaTo.
Yeah, but we'll have to see if they change coming through on the defense this time. I mean, YaTo, we have seen what they're like. We've seen what another Chinese team is like, quote unquote.
YaTo.
Thank you. And then coming through now this time, let's see if YaTo are a little bit similar in the Chinese form of aggression. A defense there, you know, a couple of mistakes, and like you said from Hokyao, that was unfortunate, but coming through on the offense, I think we'll see something a little bit different.
Now, the one interesting thing that I do want to mention is, you know, how I was speculating who was in that number 9 tank, and I thought, you know, this must be Fox TS. It's the obvious choice. Apparently, it's not actually Fox TS. He is sitting on the bench today for YaTo. He's actually in the lobby, but he's not in the game for YaTo. So, Hokyao, I'm told, was the in-game leader for that one. I'm not sure whether or not that is 100% correct, but that's really weird because Fox TS has been with this EL roster since the beginning. He is one of the most experienced players in the region. He's one of the most decorated players in the region. And to see him sitting out, I don't know what the reasoning for that could be, but you know, that's a bit of an interesting turn of events as far as I'm concerned. So no Fox TS for EL. Maybe he comes in later in this series.
Well, you'd have to hope so.
You can swap in and out in the middle. Maybe they're just trying out a new player or something like that. But the only other person that could be would be S4 or Nightmare. So, you know, we very, very unlikely to see Nightmare playing. He's really only on that roster as an emergency backup. So I have to imagine it's S4 playing in that number 9 Batchat. But no Fox TS, that's the major takeaway.
Could make a big difference. I mean, YaTo without that solid, that brick wall Or better yet, you know, that stepping stone for the rest of the EL Gaming squad. Let's see if it makes a difference as we come into the second game.
You can see immediately a bit of a different setup here from Team Efficiency. They've got a lot more tanks toward the northern part of the map, and I do like this setup because I think the one flag is going to be a little bit easier to hold with 1 or 2 tanks to get resets on when push comes to shove. The 2 flag, though, there is a bit of cover there for the attackers, so if they can get themselves entrenched in there, that's where you're going to need the numbers over towards the 2 flag to try and get those resets. So we've got a couple of bat chats up in there for Team Efficiency. We've got the 5As up over on that side of the map as well. This is looking like a much better defensive sort of a setup for Team Efficiency than what EL Gaming had in the last round.
We'll still see EL Gaming just going slow.
We're going for a bit of a climb here by the looks of things. In fact, it's just going to be a boost. Obviously, they need to push a few tanks together and push him up. And it's going to be Principal, or M1, as he's now known, up onto that climb. This should be pretty straightforward, and they do manage to get that one going. But the other interesting thing that you can note here is Hokyao in a Grill 15. I mean, the Grill 15... it's a very, very good tank, but we don't see it so much in the WGL anymore. It used to be the pick if you were going to go for a tank destroyer, but it did suffer some nerfs during Season 2 and kind of fell out of favour a little bit in favour of the STRV, the new, at the time, Swedish Tier 10 tank destroyer. But we've got the Grill 15 coming back here, so I wonder what the thought process is there by EL Gaming. Perhaps just a comfort pick for Hokyao. We have in the past seen him playing that one every now and then, but... yeah, just an interesting decision to take the Grill 15 as opposed to the STRV.
I mean, a couple of decisions coming across the board from EL Gaming. Might have to
someone just tracked themselves
because of the coach, because of FoxTS not being in the roster.
Well, I mean, if FoxTS was in the roster, he was the Grill 15 player for EL Gaming when it was the meta pick. So yeah, it is just all around a weird pick. I mean, obviously there are some advantages that the Grill 15 does have over the STRV, namely the alpha. It's got 750 alpha, the STRV not anywhere near as much as that, so it does hit harder per shot, but the DPM is a little bit lower, the accuracy is a bit lower. I would say it's a little bit less mobile. The camo is not as great as well, so it is a bit of a strange pick out from EL Gaming here, so I'm interested to see where they position it and how they can make it work.
Not sure if I've spotted them out just yet, but you can see the players on the south side this time for EL Gaming as they start positioning up, and the Grill 15 in the form of Hokyao will be following close behind, but playing up on that mountainside, looking to go towards that 1 flag.
And this is where we need to see a bit of a rotation coming across from Team Efficiency. Immediately you can see number 7 from Team Efficiency was going south. That is Safi and his bat chat. JT hanging on to this area of the map solo, but he's got the information that he needs, that there's a few tanks headed towards the 1 flag. And now Team Efficiency are reacting accordingly, moving their defense over towards the 1 flag side of the map. And interested to see now what EL Gaming is going to do here, because getting any kind of pressure on that 1 flag, look at how open it is around it. There is a bit of a hill that Team Efficiency is going to have to deal with there to try and reset, but apart from that, I mean, there's no cover at all.
No, so EL Gaming have to push forward. You can see already a bit of damage going down to Quiet and to Black. As they push further and further in, they're more at risk, and this open 1 flag seems to be a bit of a problem for EL Gaming. Team Efficiency started on that offense, so they know exactly the routes, they know exactly where they're going. It just seemed like a slow push coming forward from EL Gaming.
So, Hokyao in the Grill 15, just watching the angle that anyone would be coming from to reset that flag. But there's also the matter of JT, who is safe in that position that he's at right now, but he is getting pushed by a Rattlesnake. Good shot into the front of the 5A, gets the penetration, but JT's going to inevitably need a bit of backup here because he's being pushed by a 5A, and a T100 LT does not win a 1v1 duel against a 5A 9 times out of 10.
No, he's going to stay there for now, just kind of play back and forth. The 5A going to look for the advantage, and the backup, as we speak of, is slowly behind, but Team Efficiency still holding the line for now, and you can see that slower and slower, EL Gaming are pushing up, but pretty much just getting this vision, making sure they have all these angles covered, and see if they can get any pop shots off, see if they can get some more damage down to Team Efficiency.
Still no pressure on the cap just yet from EL Gaming, but Quiet is hanging around there, very, very close by to that cap circle. We've seen 5 minutes go by now, and EL Gaming, they have achieved quite a lot of map control up in towards this 1 flag. Botek bleeding a lot of HP in that WZ-111-5A as well. He is going to be cause for concern here for Team Efficiency right now. He's a 1-shot for any tank that shoots at him now. Needs to play a little bit safer. Needs to maybe swap position with someone and play back.
Yeah. Botech is dangerously low. Let's see if they make that rotation from Team Efficiency, if they swap him around. But YaTo still just playing pretty close to time. You got 4 minutes left here, and I guess YaTo, do they have to get the move on?
Yeah, this is kind of just pixel sniping coming out here between the two 5As, Rattlesnake and whoever's in number 5 tank for Team Efficiency. There's a very, very small chance that you're even going to hit that shot, and even if you do hit that shot, to penetrate it as well and actually hit a weak spot, it seems unlikely. Rattlesnake, though, does manage to sneak one in, so that's again another favourable trade coming out here for YaTo, and slowly but surely they are pulling ahead in terms of the health pool.
Started the cap, though, so slowly adding a bit more pressure from YaTo. It's not going to make too much difference. It's going to be easy to reset,
dead.
But yeah, JT is going down here. Slower and slower, taking it forward. T100 LT should hit the dirt, but again, the cap's starting up. 3 minutes 30 remaining. And much slower pace of game we're coming through in this game number 2. This wasn't the style of Team Efficiency when they were on the offense.
No, definitely wasn't, but I mean, I think they're just not quite prepared to deal with YaTo on the attack here. It seems as though YaTo has got a good grasp on the map. They're aware of the angles that they can get free shots onto Team Efficiency from, and that's the major concern right now for TE, is that they are bleeding so much free damage, and I think they've kind of got put into poor positions here because JT was caught out there. They had to try and keep him alive.
Yep.
That forced them into a position where, you know, they had to take trades against Rattlesnake in that 5A, and that was never really going to, you know, favor either team, but Rattlesnake makes it work for him. And so Team Efficiency, they've bled so much free HP. Botech took heaps of damage earlier on in the piece. The 5A fight didn't work out. JT eventually got picked up when YaTo decided it was time to push in here, but there was no real response from Team Efficiency. They've done a bit of damage to Quiet, they've done a little bit of damage to number 9 and Black, but nothing too significant. And YaTo definitely, in terms of the tanks, in terms of the HP, are sitting in an advantageous position. But 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock here. That timer is ticking down, and there is still a significant chunk of HP on the Team Efficiency lineup. So if this does come down to a kind of a cap situation where YaTo are trying to cap out before that timer comes in, Team Efficiency, if they maybe can keep a tank alive somewhere up in the A line or hidden up somewhere, and have the rest of the tanks go in there, get the resets, try and force YaTo to try and chase down that remaining tank, that's a chance here for Team Efficiency to win. I think that's the only way that they're going to win this game as well. There's not really much of a chance that they're going to win out on a fight, because YaTo has just got an extra gun in the game and a ton extra HP as well.
Yeah, that's right, and they're really pushing the go button here. YaTo all moving up around that one flag and getting a quicker and quicker cap. You can see that WZ from the side of Team Efficiency is going to try and reset this, but end of the day, looks like we are seeing YaTo pretty much pressing the trigger here, and 6 versus 7, not the best matchup, but you still have bleeding health bars coming through from Team Efficiency.
Skell's been lit here as well. That's not a great spot for him, but the shot goes wide from the Grill 15. That's crucial for him, and what also is crucial here for Team Efficiency is getting a reset. 5 seconds left, and it is going to have to be number 7. That is Safi looking for the spots, but he hasn't seen anyone there. Both of those tanks on the cap unlit at the moment, and YaTo just cap it out there against Team Efficiency. It got really, really down to the wire there, but Team Efficiency just weren't able to get that there in the end, and I think they probably went a little bit too late to try and get that reset there. But it was pretty nicely played from YaTo, to be honest.
And YaTo really playing for time. I mean, we saw up till that 7-minute mark, 3 minutes to go. All right, we've gained control. Let's really push the limit. And Team Efficiency, when it got to that point, there was nothing they could do.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was just that slow bleed that was the issue, really, for Team Efficiency there. If they would have had JT alive, if he was in a bit of a different position to where he got stuck in, if the 5A didn't take poor trades against Rattlesnake, if Botech didn't take so many free shots, just poking up and down, then we could have seen a bit of a different story there for Team Efficiency, because they could have pushed in there and tried to find a favorable brawl. But the setup that YaTo had, they were able to get so much free damage across, and even if Team Efficiency would have been able to have a favorable HP in terms of HP, that kind of a brawl, the setup that YaTo had, they had crossfires everywhere. They had tanks ready to shoot. If anyone would have driven in there from Team Efficiency, they were taking 2 or 3 shots before they fired off their own first shot. So that was a very, very nice setup from YaTo to defend those guys on the one flag, and you can see it's definitely worked in their favor. They managed to cap it out, and Team Efficiency won a piece on their own map pick.
That's right. Sand River showing up here today.
It is.
I mean, that was a. I mean, you can see there's a lot of weaknesses there. You can see that on the offensive, it can be quite a gruesome task. But I think EL Gaming showed us that they are pretty experienced when it comes into pulling positions and pulling rank, and right there and then EL Gaming showing up big.
Yeah, so it was a good sort of recognition from EL Gaming to figure out that the majority of the defense was up towards the 2 flag.
Yep.
The 1 flag was the weakness, and push came to shove. Team Efficiency didn't get the reset.
Literally push came to shove.
Push coming to shove
Right
indeed.
here.
Right here. M1, I'm not sure what kind of an angle he has from that position. Obviously, it does open up a lot of angles. You know, you can fire into... It's a very, very flat map, right? So he's got a lot of angles, but he's quite far away from the battle in that position. So perhaps he was just there to watch in case there was the rotation from Team Efficiency. I don't know if he would have really had any great shots into anyone on Team Efficiency, but I'd like to go back and have a look at his POV later on.
Yeah, he did push up eventually and pretty much just became part of EL Gaming's push on that 1 flag anyway. So we'll see if EL Gaming can keep consistent throughout. That was pretty good from them, but it's a different style. Like we're looking at how YaTo Gaming play and we're looking at EL Gaming, and it's very different. It's more tight.
Yeah,
from
it's
EL
more
Gaming.
controlled from EL Gaming. They seem to know what they want to do, play it a little bit slower. It's not as aggressive, and it feels like that gives them the opportunity to make less mistakes. So we'll see how they do end up going up against YaTo when they face each other, but I definitely am favouring EL Gaming in that matchup, that is for sure. In terms of which team is better, EL Gaming takes the cake, I think, in that one. So we'll see how the rest of this series does go. Team Efficiency, though, I think they might be a little disappointed to go down, well, not go down, to equal one apiece on their own map pick. I mean, you pick your own map because you think that you can 2-0 it, and it hasn't gone that way here for Team Efficiency. So we'll move on to Himmelsdorf and then Prokhorovka, both the picks of EL Gaming. Again, not awful maps at all for Team Efficiency either. No. I mean, we've seen Himmelsdorf come out from Team Efficiency. They're generally okay on the map. I wouldn't say it's their best map. We talked about this yesterday, Tim and I, where, you know, it is one of the maps that Team Efficiency are comfortable enough on, but it's not like their first or second pick. You know, not like Steps was, not like Prokhorovka can be at times for Team Efficiency as well. So we will see how that Himmelsdorf one does go for TE here, but I'm a little bit worried here for them, to be honest. I think these next 2 maps, whatever combination we get coming out, I feel like we end up with a 3-1. I don't know where that 1 round comes from for Team Efficiency, but I do feel as though EL Gaming coming back into these 2 maps, definitely a little bit stronger.
But in game 1, and you know, excuse my bonobiness, but it's not even a word. But in game number 1, like they showed so much promise there. Right?
Yeah,
and they showed they can take it to EL Gaming. So how do we get similar results to that going through?
It's really hard to say because Team Efficiency here, these maps are favouring obviously EL Gaming, so they need to come into this with some sort of strategy in mind. They need to figure out or have some kind of idea of what EL Gaming is going to be doing on these maps and try and counteract that, because I think if they let EL play the natural game, if they play into EL's hands, then obviously that's going to go the way of EL Gaming. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Ghost Town coming out here for Team Efficiency as well. You know, if we had Ghost Town and Sand River in the map pool here, maybe I would have predicted something different. But Prokhorovka and Himmelsdorf, both really, really good maps for EL Gaming. Last season, I mean, Prokhorovka could be shaky at times, but I still feel like they are a very good team on that map. Now, we did see Team Efficiency yesterday dropping a round on Himmelsdorf to Lupin. They made some errors on that map, that is for sure. The overall overarching strategy didn't work out in their favor. We've got a fairly similar lineup from them again here on the defensive side as what we saw from them yesterday. We've got an E3 and an E4 though, which you don't always see, plus the double 50B. So we'll see where those 50Bs are set up. I assume they're going to be here watching the cross. Yes, they are. You can have a look on the map. Number 6 there, and he's covering the number 2 as well. Both of them watching that cross. Number 5 spotting for them in that mouse. Should anyone make their way down the banana? So it's the same setup pretty much here from Team Efficiency as what we saw yesterday. Yeah,
but hoping for a better performance than they put up against Lupin. They are going up against a Tyrant in EL Gaming, and one mistake here could mean EL starts strangling them slowly but surely, as we saw on Sandy River there before.
I think Team Efficiency here are actually anticipating a bit of presence over to the railway line because they've got JT down there in the IS-4. And a lot of the time when you do have an IS-4 on the defensive side, that is going to be situated up in A6, side scraping that corner on the 2 flag to make sure that no one can get onto that cap and get easy cap time up. But he's over on the other side of the map here, so that makes me think that Team Efficiency, you know, they were predicting or at least anticipating maybe that there was going to be a push on that 1 flag here, and that's why they've got JT over here. But really, it looks like at the moment it is going to be a push onto the 1 flag, and Botek would have spotted out Black. Ooh, Black, you don't want to sit still there. E3 definitely can penetrate that cupola that's sticking above the wall. Botek and number 9 have not spotted each other out, and really, it is only Botek on this side of the map that's going to be doing a huge amount of damage. A bit comes in, I think, as well from, might have been Skell, or it might have been the mouse behind Botek there, but the mouse crosses, and Botek's going to be the one in the forward position.
YaTo already taking a bit of shots at M1. Botek is going to be found here by the E3. Trading back and forth. Team Efficiency forcing themselves out a little bit. They're leaving the 1 flag. They're pushing forwards towards Hardliner.
And at the moment, the E3 of YaTo has got HE loaded. He's just trying to be a bit of a nuisance, get damage onto Botek. It is sometimes tough to penetrate the front of an E3. Oh dear, Hardline has been caught out here. These 50Bs are in a perfect position. JT has managed to lead the charge in the IS-4. There's no way Hardliner survives here. He's going to get absolutely wrecked. And I completely missed that rotation coming across from those 50Bs. But so did YaTo. And that goes 1 kill in the favor of Team Efficiency. They take a bit of damage from those players up on the hill, but most of that damage goes into JT, and that's what you want in that situation. If someone's going to take the shots, it's the IS-4. He's not as important to have at a high amount of HP as the 50Bs are. So number 2 and number 6, they're going to be staying at mostly full HP.
Yep.
They've got their clip off. This is exactly what I'm talking about by those 50Bs. You shoot your clip, you reload, you go and do it again.
Exactly right, Team Efficiency, rinse and repeat. What a great moment there. Hardliner going down means YaTo have been slowed in their momentum on that push, and still a slow cap on that 2 flag as a mouse sitting around heavy, waiting around with the Type 5 heavy. Team Efficiency now rotating up, so this is good response from Team Efficiency and has shown that their prowess on this map in their defense is looking a lot better than we saw last time.
Looks like there's a bit of a HE war here. Both of the E3s firing HE now at the moment. Botek has loaded some himself. The Mousers of Team Efficiency have pushed forward to get themselves in a bit of a position where they can side scrape on that cap. I mean, there's not that much pressure on the cap at the moment here from YaTo.
Yep.
Team Efficiency should pretty easily be able to get a reset, and I think YaTo has recognized that. They've decided we want to back off here. We need to figure something else out, but it's not the ideal situation for YaTo at the moment. 50B's taking some free shots, though, on Team Efficiency. Number 6 is down to a 1 shot. Rattlesnake in that mouse coming up behind. He's getting peppered a little bit, but he's not taking too much damage. Favorable trades coming out right now for YaTo. Again, Team Efficiency is bleeding a bit too much damage.
You can see Rattlesnake coming through for the flank behind, or at least near this 1 flag, and is going to set himself up for a position. On the top side there, you can see that AMX 50B very, very low after that trade, and right now Team Efficiency are struggling a little bit here as Mouse will take a massive shot. Yeah.
YaTo just finding the angles that they need to keep Team Efficiency under pressure, and T is trying to go for these trades, but they're not getting any penetrating hits, where YaTo is going 2 or 3 shots for the 1 that they take from Team Efficiency. And look at the health disparity now that has come about between these 2 teams. Team Efficiency was equal or even ahead of YaTo at one point, and now they're quite far behind. Their 50Bs are nowhere near as big of a threat as they were earlier on in the piece, considering one of them's a 1 shot. The other 50B is probably a 2 shot for the Mousers. If the Type 5 is able to get a penetrating hit, well then, see you later, 50B. Botek takes another big hit. At least a bit of a trade back this time, 1 for 1. But again, Botek takes some more damage. There's nothing that he can do in that position either. He can't get out of there. He's going to go down eventually. 1 more HE shell. Doesn't even need to penetrate, just needs to hit him, and he dies.
That's it, lights out, and you can see that Rattlesnake took a bit of the trade back, so at least Team Efficiency are firing back, but that 1 pick onto Hardliner isn't really enough to put Team Efficiency ahead, and you can see it's kind of been traded back to blinking health bars, and right now it's going to be detrimental for Team Efficiency, and if they can still hold.
Quiet is on a pretty nice flank here, so he hasn't spotted out any of those tanks that are holding in the courtyard, but he has, of course, a very, very good suspicion of where they are. If someone can spot them out for him, he can get some free shots onto the side. That 50B, number 6, if he was lit, he'd be dead by now to Quiet. And so Quiet is in such an amazing position right now. Team Efficiency is really being strangled out of any kind of map control that they did have previously. Quiet, as soon as he either breaks this wall here or just peeks his turret past the corner of the wall there, he will spot out pretty much everyone from Team Efficiency. And that's where the main fight is going to come about.
He's playing it slow. He's going to wait for the opportune moment. 3 minutes remaining, and Quiet still waits. You can see the AMX 50B of number 2 is rotating down, so he might spot him out.
Dangerous, though, for that 50B, because Quiet should get the first shot in, though he is taking a lot of damage. He's been spotted out, and everyone from Team Efficiency had an angle on him. He has just been obliterated off the map. That's a big loss for YaTo. Team Efficiency now losing a lot of HP on their own mouse, and we'll see whether or not YaTo is going to be able to trade it back. But with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, 7 tanks still to deal with. The only real takeaway here for YaTo, the good part about this is that most of those tanks are very low on HP.
Exactly right. Team Efficiency with blinking health bars. The only person close to full was that T11, that E4. But another one goes down, and Team Efficiency are trying to clean, but with number 7 going down, YaTo are getting lower and lower. Team Efficiency trying to bring this one back, and that pick on that bat chat was a great moment.
That was the turnaround here. Because if YaTo, if that bat chat was alive, Team Efficiency loses this round. But them getting that pick, getting that spot, they are now in actually the prime position to close this one out. They've managed to get it back to fairly even HP, actually favorable HP. They have the tanks in the game. They've got the timer working in their favor. That Siren, 2 minutes to go. YaTo need to make their move, and they're not in a position to make a move. Hokyao, oh my goodness, what a pixel shot. Gets the tank. The 50B goes down. That's big. And YaTo, I mean, they're still in this.
Exactly right. Team Efficiency really want to play for time here, but pushing forward, the E4 is going to try and find this Type 5 Heavy, and Mouse retreating for the hills.
Skeller's doing exactly what he needs to do here. He knows, well, he knew that he wasn't a one-shot, but both of those guys getting a shot, the Type 5 not penetrating, the Mouse obviously penetrating, does put him onto a one-shot, but it forces those two back, puts him in a pretty poor position. There's not any cap pressure at all. I don't see how YaTo wins this. You can see the position of the 50B, number 2. He's so far away from the fight right now. Even if both of these tanks go down, it's still a situation where YaTo is going to have to get on that cap within, you know, I think it goes down to like 30 seconds if you've got 3 left. So they don't have the time to work with here. They need to be on the cap right now. And if they do that, there's still the opportunity that the reset comes across from Team Efficiency. 50B number 2, he can survive here. No one's going to catch up to him. You know, an E3, a Mouse, and a Type 5 are not chasing down a 50B in 45 seconds. The only hope here for YaTo is to get that cap working. And Botek, it's down to him. He needs to get the reset here if this cap timer does go below the 30 seconds. But I don't even know if YaTo is going to have the time here. If M1's got the timing wrong, we'll find out as soon as he gets on that cap. I think they might just have it here. I think there needs to be a reset out from YaTo, from Team Efficiency.
That's right.
No, they lose.
Okay.
They can't cap it out in time. All Team Efficiency has to do is
2 seconds, not even 2 seconds. Team Efficiency will take this round.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That was such a back and forth round, but Team Efficiency, just by time and by a slimmer of hope coming through, we are going to see them take it.
Yeah, you can see the difference that pick on the bat chat makes.
Heartbreaking.
Like, it was down to that one play. That 50B rotating around through the northern part behind the station. I thought he was actually going to put himself in a dangerous position to get clipped out by the bat chat. But in fact, what he was doing, spotting for his teammates, he played pretty safely. He was a little bit behind the angle of where he would have needed to actually fully peek if, you know, he was to go down to Quiet there in that bat chat. And a full HP bat chat going down that late in the game and seeing how close that match ended. If that bat chat was still alive, the 50B gets run down, the E3 gets run down, everyone on Team Efficiency dies. But getting that bat chat pick, so crucial for Team Efficiency. They just deleted him.
So it was quite, because obviously his position was fantastic. Like, he could have surprised, he could have really taken that game to Team Efficiency. Was that a case of timing? Was that Quiet maybe playing it too safe?
It was probably a case of timing, because I think what Quiet was doing there was waiting for his teammates to come across, get the lights for him, get the focus for him, and if he was in there for another 30 seconds, another minute, and the rest of the EL Gaming guys pushed through and started taking some shots from the 50Bs. That's when he strikes, when all the guns are turned away from him. He gets 2 or 3 shots out, maybe even his entire clip, at least cleans up 1 or 2 tanks. Yep. And then that's the game over for Team Efficiency. They lose that brawl. But they spotted him out before EL was ready to go, and they deleted him off the map straight off the bat. So really, really good stuff from Team Efficiency, making sure that all of their flanks are covered. And that's the difference between a team like Team Efficiency and a team like Lupin.
That's right.
It's what we were talking about in that last match, where Team Efficiency are actively thinking about what areas of the map they haven't got any lights on. They don't know where those tanks are. And they're thinking, where is this Bat Chat? We haven't seen him for a while. He's got to be somewhere, and he's the key player at the moment. So let's find him. And they find him, and they kill him.
And that was a pick onto Hardliner, which made us think Team Efficiency really taking control, but it was so much distributed by EL Gaming, pulling themselves back into the game. But only until that Bat Chat. That was the moment where quiet regrets, but Team Efficiency really capitalized big.
Yeah, there was... I would say, actually, EL Gaming won the mid-round there. They did get a lot of free damage over to Team Efficiency. It looked like EL Gaming was kind of in the bin, and then all of a sudden they're finding free damage everywhere. But this was the pick that won Team Efficiency the game. Quiet there. There's nothing that he can do, really. There's so many angles that you can get hit from. There's no cover. That wall, obviously, can be broken very, very easily. You can get penetrated through the wall anyway. So, Team Efficiency... getting that pick, that saved the game for them here. Skell, you could see what he was trying to do here. He felt as though he would at least go 1 for 1 and maybe even be able to go 1 for 0, but he was just a little bit too slow on the turret there. It wasn't poking at a weak spot. He couldn't fire. He was looking at the track. Never would have penetrated, so he was, you know, obviously taken down. If he had another half second there, he probably would have got one of those guys. But it doesn't cost Team Efficiency too much in the end there. They still pick up that round on Himmelsdorf. So they secure the 2 and 1. And EL Gaming are going to, again, have to play catch-up.
But only just. I mean, that's again, like...
That was so close.
That was only just. So Team Efficiency will be ahead by 1 point, but you've got to look at this next round. You've got to look at how EL Gaming are going to come into this. And after that, I'm not convinced that Team Efficiency are definitely going to push forward with an easy win here, nor are they really strong after that. But I tell you what, that was so darn close. But there were some really good maneuvers, I think, that we need to highlight from them. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, obviously... finding that Bat Chat. That's the good maneuver. The 50Bs as well. We mentioned them before the game started, and that's kind of what set the snowball in motion for Team Efficiency. The IS-4 of JT as well, kind of going with those 50Bs, and that's the crucial thing there. That's what those 50Bs are there for. They're there to find that tank that's isolated. They are there to get that pick, and they did that, and that gave Team Efficiency enough of an advantage that even though they did start to bleed during the middle, where EL Gaming's perhaps better map knowledge came into effect, didn't matter. Team Efficiency just had enough to hang on in the end, and gee, that was very, very close. I mean, I'm not saying that was a comfortable victory there for Team Efficiency. That could have gone either way, and I think they would be the first to admit that one themselves as well. But heading on to the second half here of Himmelsdorf, best case that EL Gaming can hope for now is a 1-1. Exactly right, equalize the score there, and that would come closer and closer to our predictions as we do jump into the other side of Himmelsdorf, and see the 3 mouse coming through. There we go, the AMX 50B, the 5A, Bat Chat there as well, and the E3. Yeah, double 50B for Team Efficiency once more, and you know, they seem to really enjoy this strategy in this current meta, and I mean, they made it work last round. Let's see if they can make it work here again. Triple mouse, of course, coming out from them, but a pretty quick sort of progression down the railway here from EL Gaming. Fairly standard kind of a setup. Again, just getting control of that area of the map, making sure no one can push in there. They've also got some good angles into the banana should Team Efficiency push down. And Skell takes a bit of damage. Damaged ammo rack as well. Oh, that's a huge shot. Unfortunate there for number 9 that it's a low roll, but it was a favorable dispersion roll for him to be able to actually hit that. It goes in the highlight reel. So, you know, he's going to have to take that. I mean, I'd take that. And already early shots going in the favor of EL Gaming. This is where Team Efficiency is letting themselves down a little bit. They are giving up too much free HP to EL Gaming. You can see there on the south side and failing in that aggression a little bit, but Black and Hardliner really hitting those angles. So far, Team Efficiency already a couple of blinking health bars there. The Bat Chat struggling through, but like you said, they're holding that banana. They maybe have opportunistic angles, but right now, EL Gaming have a really nice fan going on, and I don't see how Team Efficiency are going to push in the next minute. Let's see
how the rotations come through, or if they get some nice pop shots on that
Team
bottom side.
Efficiency are definitely set up for a one flag push at the moment. They've got a lot of players down in the church courtyard. That K5 area is what I'm talking about. Both of the 50Bs are there. You know, there's a bat chat up on the hill just spotting that out. Team Efficiency are not committing to the hill. They're not committing to the banana. This is a setup for the one flag, and Quiet is there to spot this out. He's done that. He's going to fall back off the angle just a bit now, wait for his teammates to rotate across. The 50B is there, the 5A is there. Team Efficiency are walking into the defensive setup here of EL Gaming, and they don't even know it.
Yeah, 4 members strong, but here we go. The MX50B is going to hit the angle, the bat chat there as well. Quiet sees JT coming out, and this could be terrible for Team Efficiency. The trap has been set. They lie in wait. Shot will miss, but starting to go through, and JT will take some.
I still don't think Team Efficiency have actually spotted the AMX 50B of black. It's a little hard to tell, of course, because the spotting thing is not working, but he's just been hiding behind this building for so long. Oh, Quiet gets set on fire, but he puts that out pretty quickly. But black here being pretty stealthy, waiting for the opportune moment to get that full clip out.
See what black does. He's still waiting behind. It's not quite from last game. It's a little bit different, but playing for time a little bit here. Team Efficiency are pushing through the town, waiting for their moment. They're going to fire through, and JT continually getting fired at again. You
can see Team Efficiency's 50Bs on the move a little bit here. They're looking, they're waiting, lying in wait.
Yeah. JT still the mouse, using the diversion, I guess we could call it.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, I mean, there's not much else actually happening on the map here for Team Efficiency. The Batchat has pushed down to the B0 corner, so he can spot into the 2 flag a little bit, but there's not much for him to actually see there. I think Team Efficiency have got a pretty good idea of what the setup now from EL Gaming is. They know that there is going to be a 1 flag fight if they want to go for that 1 flag. Of course, there's still a lot of time here for Team Efficiency to rotate off, but it's not like they have the sort of tank lineup to really rotate across too easily with the double mouse down the bottom there. Though there is a bit of push coming up now through the banana here from Team Efficiency, so they are making their move, and some more map control in their favor for free. No one from EL Gaming has any shots on them just yet, though. If Scale does push around this corner, he's going to take a big fat shot from that E3.
Yeah, but you can see Hockeyow's coming down as well. He's reached the south side and he's ready to receive from the Team Efficiency lineup. And pushing forward, Team Efficiency continue on, but JT takes another shot. Here we go, here's Hockyow, and he will get traded back and forth, but this is putting pressure onto the mouse of JT and Team Efficiency.
I wonder if this is a bit of a bait, though, from JT, because he's taken a fair amount of free HP. And Hockyow is kind of walking into the angle that the 50Bs are holding at the moment. He has fallen back just off that for the moment, but if he would have continued pushing forward there, trying to get a bit greedy for that kill to JT, he would have died to those 50Bs. As of yet, the 50Bs still unspotted here by EL Gaming.
No one really responding to either. This is the difference between our teams. This is when we watched YaTo, when we watched some of the lower teams, we didn't see this rapid decision-making on the fly. And this is coming through from Team Efficiency and EL Gaming, reacting to each other's push and really thinking one step ahead. And right now, shots are still being fired back and forth, but not too much damage coming through. The mouse is really fronting, and the AMX50B still stay in place.
Okay, so mouse number 5 going for a bit of an exploration through the courtyard at the moment for Team Efficiency. And he's going to get himself in a pretty crucial position. If he does continue forward here, he's going to come into a crossfire between a mouse and a bat chat, so he doesn't want to get too focused up on that, but he bounces the mouse shell. He knows there's one there now, and he can cross safely, try and take the shot, but he also bounces. A little difficult sometimes to get a shot into the front of the mouse and penetrate it, but Rattlesnake does a good job. This is just going to be a bit of a mouse war at the moment, so Team Efficiency, I wonder if this is somewhat of a diversion, trying to pull a bit of a rotation across from EL Gaming up towards the 2 flag. As of yet, nothing too crazy happening on the defensive side.
You can see finally, number 7 is going to be rotating on the south side, coming up towards this 1 flag on the rest of his team. Team Efficiency still playing it nice and slow. They have 3 minutes to work with. It's the same thing again. Maybe they have to get a move on now because
the mouse is in a dangerous position here in the middle of the courtyard. There's so many angles that he can be hit from. and Quiet and Hockey have rotated to get the shots across. Whether that's what Team Efficiency want or not, they're going to have to make it work here. They have got tank advantage down towards the southern part of this map here. Botek's going to push forward, take some shots. There's a shot into Hockey, but the 50Bs is what we need to see here from Team Efficiency. We need to see these guys pushing forward, getting that damage across, and we do see them starting to push their way forward now. And whether or not they are going to get that damage, well, it remains to be seen.
But Hockey looks like he has the angle. They're pushing forward into this courtyard in front of the train there. The MX-50B from Black has finally been spotted out. Team Efficiency making their move. Black's in a bit of trouble. He'll rotate behind this house as Botek pushes forward first. Hardline's behind that wall, and this is a big moment for Team Efficiency, but they've already lost one. Coming through, Black will push back forward and get Mouse the heck away from there, but Hockey picks out yet another one. Team Efficiency are crumbling on this offense. A third one goes down.
Yep.
Big moment for EL Gaming. Their defense holds strong.
Yeah, it was just, I think, a case of the fact that EL Gaming's focus fire was so good there. Team Efficiency weren't able to get into positions to actually fire any return shots before the time that they'd taken 3/4 of their HP and damage. I mean, Safi came through in the bat chat. I was about to say, what can he do there? And then he got obliterated by the E3. Yeah. So that was a really nice, solid defense from EL Gaming. Team Efficiency, it seemed as though they were, for that whole round, really playing into the hands of EL Gaming. You could see the setup from EL Gaming was designed to stop Team Efficiency there on those tracks. And they managed to do that exact thing. And so, I mean, Team Efficiency, of course, are going to be losing this round from here on out. Skelty, only one left alive. It'll be 2 apiece. But overall, I mean, 1 for 1 on Himmelsdorf, not too bad for Team Efficiency because EL Gaming's map pick.
Exactly right. EL Gaming holding strong, however, and you got to look at how Team Efficiency played that. But yeah, priority on targets, I think, is great. Great point, Elfish. They will try and clean up this last one, but Skell doesn't really have an opportunity here. He's just going to test the cap and will go down at the end of the day. EL Gaming taking a clean defense, only losing 1.
Yep. Very, very nice stuff from them. I really would love to know whether or not the 50B of EL Gaming was spotted out.
Yep.
I suspect that it wasn't because I don't think Team Efficiency would have pushed in there if they would have known that there was a 50B there as well. But we'll never really know, I guess, unless we ask the teams, which I guess maybe I'll do later on tonight.
Okay.
So maybe I'll know. No one else will probably know. But yeah, that was Team Efficiency walking into EL Gaming's crossfire. There was not really much that they could do in pushing down that sort of part of the map. I think it would have been a better option maybe to rotate back across to the 2 flag, but that would have taken them so much time. EL would have read the situation pretty quickly. They would have got, you know, the idea that, oh, well, there's no one peeking this rail track anymore. I wonder where Team Efficiency's going. Maybe it's the 2 flag. So it seems as though Team Efficiency kind of got themselves stuck in just a bad position, really, from the start of that game, and they couldn't really dig themselves out of that hole. So I don't want to really read into that situation too much for Team Efficiency. I don't think it was necessarily a poor play from them. It was just,
well, they were running out of time.
The situation was against them, really, that entire map, and they had to go and do something. They did go do something, and of course, it didn't work out.
Exactly right, committing everything, all your eggs in one basket, and unfortunately that basket has a hole in it.
Yeah.
Ooh, bad analogy. We'll try again next time, but it was a big play from Team Efficiency, and EL Gaming really just held the line, and that AMX-50B, I feel like, made a difference there.
Yeah, it definitely did, and not to mention that free damage that EL was able to get off at the start onto the bat chat. Yep. Maybe it didn't play a massive part, but it just set up the entire sort of momentum of that round. You know, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, that shot does not hit that bat chat, but that time it hit that bat chat, and things obviously did not go too well for Team Efficiency. Following that, overall, yeah, I mean, that was a bit of a nothing round, really, for both of those teams. I don't think there was any other real situation that could have come from that.
That's fair. But it is going to tie it up after taking Himmelsdorf as well. We're going to see a 2-2 and getting closer and closer. These guys really showing up each on their offense, I think. I feel like, you know, really there, that was a great case for EL Gaming coming through. Their defense held strong, but a lot of the other times we're seeing great offense. We're seeing great play from both of these teams. Now that it's 2-2, we're getting closer and closer to what you said wouldn't happen, which was a tiebreaker.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I mean,
we're far off. But
we are still equal at the moment after our first 2 maps. We've got 2 more to go before that tiebreaker. So if history repeats itself, which some say it does. It could potentially be making its way through to that 5-4 scoreline that we all would love to see.
Yep.
Prokhorovka, the next map coming out here. Again, EL Gaming's map pick. And this is the one that I said I think probably does go 1 apiece. I'm going to stick by that, which would put us at 3-3.
Yep.
I kind of would have expected out of these two maps from EL Gaming's picks that if EL was going to get the 2-0, it was going to be on Hillsdorf. So I think that's a good result, really, for Team Efficiency here. Now they need to secure at least 1 round here on Prokhorovka, hang in there, get onto Ruhenberg. That's a 1-1 map 9 times out of 10. I mean, we have seen EL Gaming be able to 2-0 Team Efficiency on that map in the past, but it should be a 1-1, really. And then, you know, all things going to plan, then we find ourselves at Ghost Town. And if we find ourselves on Ghost Town, that's a big advantage for Team Efficiency, actually, because that is one of their better maps, one of EL Gaming's worst maps. And we've seen Ghost Town was a tiebreaker map actually between EL Gaming and Team Efficiency last season. I think the second time that Team Efficiency beat EL Gaming was on Ghost Town. So history repeats itself. Am I ready to put all my eggs in that basket? Am I counting my chickens before they've hatched?
Not yet.
Maybe a little bit.
Starting to believe.
I'm starting to believe here for Team Efficiency. I think they can hang in here, keep going 1 apiece, and push this one through to Ghost Town, where then I will favour them.
But we're going to Prokhorovka now, and I said it right for the first time, Elfin, which
done.
is fantastic. All right, I try rush. It's horrible. It is Russian, isn't it?
It is Russian.
Okay, good. So 1 brownie point, but -10 for the rest. But as we go to this next one, let's see if EL Gaming can keep up, because they have been playing fantastically, but Team Efficiency really showing up as well. That is 4 5As coming through. That's interesting. 2 Bat Chats and E50M.
Yeah, nothing crazy out here from the team at the moment. Looks like Safi's going to push forward in his Bat Chat, go for a bit of a scouting run, and he is going to light a lot of tanks. The major concern is that he needs to make sure he doesn't take any shots in doing this. And at the moment, he looks like he's going to be okay, just sitting behind the Defilade there a little bit. And Team Efficiency are going to have a pretty good idea of what EL Gaming is going to do very, very shortly. 2 lights from Safi. He spotted a couple of the members, and that, generally speaking, gives away a lot of the other members' positions as well.
Yep. Pushing as a unit here, coming through from EL Gaming. Across the wide open field. Team Efficiency still holding strong, and you can see that in the back there, just holding around that 1 flag, but 2 members going right towards the second. See what EL Gaming do here, because in the past have been very slow on the push, been playing for time, and it's very strategic coming through from this Chinese squad.
It is, but they are playing into the setup that Team Efficiency has got at the moment. I mean, if EL Gaming does push into this 1 flag, the STRV at the back there, Skell, he's going to have some shots. There's a lot of tanks set up in this. Well, pretty much every tank, actually, from Team Efficiency is set up here to defend the 1 flag. And it's going to come down to whether or not EL Gaming is going to YOLO over here and try and take that overmatch, take that 4-5 tanks versus 2. And it seems as though that is exactly what they're going to be doing. Botek's in trouble here. Safi's in trouble here. Where's the damage going to come out from Team Efficiency?
Well, they're rotating around, and you can see that 5A is in a lot of trouble. EL Gaming just pushing the ladder here, and they're going to take him out. Botek does not stand a chance. With the Bat Chat from the rear, they'll take him down. That is a second one going down, and Team Efficiency, again, the big push from EL Gaming seems to be working. Different map, but hey, it's the same game.
Yep, not enough damage being dealt out there by Team Efficiency for those 2 tanks that they did lose. Now they've lost another one. I think this game is already over, really, at this point. EL Gaming just saw their moment. They took that opportunity. They saw those 2 tanks were basically isolated because of those hills that are here all over Prokhorovka. It is difficult sometimes to get shots from that 1-2 line into, say, the 4 line, for example, which is exactly where EL Gaming was pushing. So they saw the opportunity. They had the isolated tanks. They pushed their Bat Chats over. They had their 5As there as well, and they clean up those 2 tanks very, very easily. So Team Efficiency, the setup looked okay, but in practice, it hasn't worked out for them. EL Gaming just reading the play far too well. And
honestly, I was talking about slow plays coming through from EL Gaming, but they just executed quickly. In the first 3 minutes, they have already taken down 3 tanks and continue to push further. JT's going to be in a lot of trouble here, but you can see number 6 is as well. And the only thing that'll be left is Skell, but even he's taking hard shots. And EL Gaming yet to drop 1, but have really just pushed their limits in this 5th game.
Yeah, that was not so super fantastic from Team Efficiency. Hopefully they've got something good for us on the attacking side, because now, at the end of this round, it's going to be the first time EL is actually in the lead in this series. So is this the combo breaker? Is this the turnaround that EL Gaming needs to be able to close this one out with a advantageous result? Perhaps it is going to be. We'll find out. But that was super convincing from EL.
Super quick, actually, coming through from EL. Man, EL Gaming just showing up on the field there. But, I mean, you said the setup was great for coming through from Team Efficiency, but like you said, it's the execution. It always comes down to the execution for this Team Efficiency squad.
The setup was good for Team Efficiency in that they had a lot of tanks over on that side of the map. If EL would have played the poke game, played a little bit slower there, then Team Efficiency was in a good spot to potentially be able to do something. But EL Gaming recognized how many tanks were sort of out of position, in a sense, from Team Efficiency. They weren't in positions to get shots onto their own teammates, and obviously they chose to just push over there. They knew they were relatively safe. If they sacrifice a tank, then so what? 2 for 1, still favorable there for EL Gaming. So yeah, it was a decent setup from Team Efficiency, but just not for the situation that EL presented to them. And then, you know, obviously that favors EL Gaming.
Yeah, but you did say this map was one apiece. So coming through Team Efficiency, I mean, still have that opportunity to pick it up, but
definitely.
Some changes, like what do you see, how do they adapt to what EL Gaming just played? I mean, obviously in defense, everything's going to change up, but obviously that was way too quick for their liking, and they'd be looking at that and going, what happened?
Yeah, they did get caught a little bit off guard there, I think. So
yeah,
I'm not really sure what Team Efficiency could have done there to sort of change things up, to be honest. They were very, very much set up for more of a 1-2 line push than a 4-line push coming out from EL Gaming. You can see all of these guys, they just don't have shots, and they have like a very small glimpse of a shot when those guys are driving over the hill, but Team Efficiency just, you know, either not hitting them, and it's obviously a very, very hard shot to hit as well. So you can't really blame Team Efficiency there. Like, once EL Gaming pushed over, then there was no chance for Team Efficiency. Okay. If Team Efficiency would have had a better setup for that kind of a push, then certainly. But they, again, like, the situation just didn't favor them. It was similar to Himmelsdorf, where they got themselves in their positions, they set themselves up, and EL Gaming countered it from square one. And Team Efficiency just didn't have any, like, they couldn't have answers. They couldn't have answers for that kind of push. There was nothing they could do. As soon as EL Gaming made that decision to push over, short of not having those tanks in those positions, there's nothing they could do. But obviously that's not an option when you've got your tanks in that position.
That's fair enough.
Duh.
Does this come through, though, to me getting excited about the Chinese squads and saying, like YaTo, does this surprise-style composition, this surprise push, is that now more like the Chinese squad? Is this coming back to reality?
Yeah, it is a part of EL Gaming's strategy. It's not always what they need, but I think, you know, it's not like they're going back to their old ways of just always pushing aggressively. It's that they are taking the opportunities where they can push aggressively and using those opportunities. Okay. It's not like it's their only strategy.
Good. All right. So I'm glad they got more in the book. And that's the difference between YaTo and EL Gaming, is that EL have the book. And then YaTo are like, I know how you guys play by now. You're going to do this.
Yeah, so
straightforward.
I mean, we'll see how that develops, whether or not YaTo is actually going to fall into that same trap that EL did last year in Season 1 against those international teams, and whether even the APAC teams are going to be good enough to counter it. Should they go for all those aggressive strategies all of the time? But, I mean, that's a story for next week, perhaps. EL Gaming and Team Efficiency here. Second half of Prokhorovka going to come out. We'll see Team Efficiency on the attack. Want to see what they've got for us in terms of the tank picks. And looks pretty much the exact same from EL Gaming, even though they're on the defensive side as opposed to the attacking side here. Team Efficiency, very, very similar again. Lots of 5As and lots of bat chats. Sadly, no IS-7s. Used to be a mainstay for Team Efficiency here, but I think it has just been, you know, improved upon essentially by the 5A, would be a good way to put it. The 5A, most of the time, situationally, is going to be a little bit more flexible than an IS-7, but Team Efficiency have chosen the correct side of the tracks, so they should be able to get complete control here. They haven't been lit, more likely than not, and the fact that they haven't been lit makes them realize that there's probably not someone sitting up in a 0, so they're going to get themselves on the cap, start putting some pressure on early onto EL Gaming. But JT taking a bit of damage there on the cross.
Yeah, Team Efficiency have started getting laid into EL Gaming. Just hitting past these train tracks now, and JT is taking the brunt of this damage. That 5A, very low, takes another one. He's in a lot of trouble and has to back away, but...
Really over-angling his armor just a little bit there in the 5A. You can see that, well, you probably can't see at the moment, but there is a pike nose on the front of the 5A, and if you angle your armor like JT was, you basically present the flat side of that armor to your opposition, and it doesn't work too well for you. But EL Gaming have decided to push over the tracks here, and it's a bit of a crazy fight going on here at the moment. The first tank, though, does go the way of Team Efficiency. There is a trade back, though, for EL Gaming.
Yep, on the train tracks, we're still pushing forward. EL Gaming, screw defending, they're just going to go straight in. And guess what? It's number 6 who takes the brunt of it. He is going to go down here, but on the back there, big moment for the Bat Chat. Team Efficiency lose their 3rd tank. This might be working for EL Gaming. It
may indeed be working for EL Gaming. It looked for a moment like Team Efficiency was going to be able to make that one work, but I think the Bat Chats, once they were on reload, that's when EL Gaming, the power of numbers, the 5As, the E50M that they had, started to pull ahead. And again, you can see Team Efficiency have just crumbled.
Kind of doing what they did in last game, similar composition, and they just drive it forward ahead, even though they're on the defense. EL Gaming looking very comfortable.
Yeah, Safi hasn't got much long for this world. Skell in a similar position, has got a little bit more HP to play with, but he's just going to YOLO over, try and farm some damage under quiet, stat pad, so to speak, but that's about as good as it's going to get for Skell here. It doesn't even manage to actually secure that kill, and yeah, that's again a little bit unfortunate there for Team Efficiency. 2-0 on Prokhorovka. EL Gaming now 4-2, potential for them to get that 5-2, 5-3, depending on what side they start here on Runeberg. Team Efficiency need that 2-0 on Runeberg.
But convincing from EL Gaming. That was a stellar performance coming through, and EL Gaming really showing in week 1 that they're in fine form. Remember, they have 6 of the 7 original players coming through. I mean, they're a team that have grown and developed through seasons. Now they're showing that in Season 3, they're ready to play.
That was vintage EL Gaming, really, being able to just take any fight, seemingly, and win that fight. I mean, they started off losing the first tank, but they still won it. And really, what it came down to, I think, was just the Bat Chats. Once they were on the reload, like I said, you've got, what, 4 5As there for EL Gaming and E50.
Yep.
They can continue firing while the Bat Chats of Team Efficiency can't. And there was like 3 Bat Chats for Team Efficiency. JT and his 5A was essentially dead before the fight even started. So he got taken down pretty quickly. And EL Gaming, just too good.
Yeah. So you wouldn't even put it against Team Efficiency about their playstyle here. You were purely saying EL Gaming is just stepping up.
I would say JT probably took a little bit too much free damage there to start things off, and that might have been what EL Gaming decided to push off. They knew that they got basically a free kill there. He goes straight down. They've got the 7v6, and you know, they lose a couple of players. Safi did a pretty good job in his Bat Chat to be able to not only take down Black, but then also to take down Hokyao later on in the piece, but it just was not enough. The 5As weren't winning the fight for Team Efficiency because there was just too many opposition tanks to deal with. And Skell, I don't know where he was. I think he didn't really get too much of an involvement in that fight either, to be honest. But yeah, EL Gaming, they took the fight that they knew they could win, and incidentally, they did win.
So, one more game, and they're going to take it. What's our next map?
It is Runeberg.
Okay, so in the past, the Team Efficiency, Runeberg, what's their progress?
It's not an amazing map for Team Efficiency, to be honest, on paper. Last season, 44% win rate overall.
Wow, okay.
So it was actually one of their weaker maps. They had a 50% win rate on defense, which is probably a little bit below what you want to be having on your defensive side. You want to be something a little bit more like EL Gaming, which was sitting on 82% on their defensive side.
I'm glad you told me that now. All right, so Runeberg, looking forward to it.
Yeah, so the key here for Team Efficiency is basically winning both of these rounds. And that is a very, very tough ask on Runeberg, particularly for Team Efficiency, who, you know, they're not fans of Runeberg in general, unless something's changed from last season. It is a map that generally biases itself towards a 1-1 as opposed to a 2-0. So it's really tough here for Team Efficiency. I can't see them coming out of this with any better than a 5-3 scoreline like what I predicted, but it could well be a 5-2 if they start off on the attacking side and things don't go their way.
So then I have to look at the bigger picture and I have to ask, is it worth banning away Runeberg if it's not one of your strongest maps? I mean, I can't quite remember the bans coming through.
Mines was the first ban from EL Gaming, from Team Efficiency, sorry, so
okay.
I think Mines would have been even a worse situation for Team Efficiency than Ruinberg is.
Understandable.
So they got rid of Mines, fair enough. Cliff was taken away by EL Gaming. Then Ghost Town was taken away by EL Gaming again. And the final map, Muravanka, was vetoed away by Team Efficiency. And again, I probably can't see Team Efficiency getting a 2-0 on Muravanka, which EL Gaming did have a 100% win rate on last season.
I love how you drop these as we go past. Thanks, Sean.
You know, I mean, like, what are you going to do?
Guy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
100% win rate throughout the regular
100%
season.
lie rate so far to Hysterics. All right, we're jumping in.
Not lying. It says right here.
All right, yeah.
100% rate.
All right, 100% not telling Hysterics. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. We're going to jump into our last map, potentially our last map. Don't let me sell you short. EL Gaming, all they need is one win, and
TE is on the attack. This is not going to be fun. Let's see what they've got for us, though.
No.
They're going to be moving quickly onto the 2 flag, which is actually a good idea. I like this from Team Efficiency, playing quickly, playing decisively, forcing EL to play their game, as opposed to just playing slowly in the town, letting EL set up, all that kind of jazz. But Team Efficiency, even still here, attacking side, Ruinberg, 30% win rate last season. I'm not so sold. Quickly onto the 2 flag, though. Let's see if they can win this fight.
Yeah, let's see if they can play the game of EL Gaming and just push, push, push. And they've started nice and early, but rotating down that south side, they're going to just try and get the angles and really encroach on this 2 flag space. Already it's been reset. JT takes some damage. Number 7 as well. They're getting punished here from Team Efficiency. This is not good whatsoever, so they move into the town. EL Gaming will get traded back, so Team Efficiency finally putting some brunt out. But then that push is not successful, and EL Gaming still have the advantage.
Yeah, and the key player here at the moment for EL Gaming, well, there's 2 of them, in fact, M1 and Hardliner down in this K0 area. It's so hard to dislodge those players for Team Efficiency without taking a lot of damage by pushing over the road. But they've managed to get rid of one. The WZ-11158 does get dropped, incidentally. There's another one there for Hardliner, and we do see a trade coming back here from EL Gaming. In fact, 2 tanks go down for Team Efficiency, so there might have been a small sliver of hope there where you think, oh, Team Efficiency got the first pick, they have the guns, they might be able to win this fight. But EL Gaming says, no, thank you very much.
Unfortunately.
We are going to win this fight every day of the week. And again, you can see more and more damage is being done to Team Efficiency. Rattlesnake may go down here to Botek, but that's still just an equalizing trade. Team Efficiency need to be doing more. Yeah,
the health bars are too low for Team Efficiency right now. EL Gaming still getting the brunt, although Hardliner takes a bit of damage quite as well. Some good angles coming through from Team Efficiency, and Botek does get the angle there, helped out by the Batchat coming through, so Hardliner goes down, and it's 2 for 1 so far. Team Efficiency need to trade better, which they're doing now. Let's see how they develop coming through. They have an opportunity.
Well, 4 versus 3 here. Botek is the key player in that 5A. He could, if he gets a nice high roll into that 50B, one-shot him, or maybe a penetrating HG shell. But no, it's going to, in fact, actually be a low roll here. Botek, I don't know if he can get enough damage from a ram or something like that, but this 50B may still yet go down without even firing another shot. He's actually managed to get that one done, so good work from Botek. Brings it back to a 3 versus 3. Health still very advantageous here for EL Gaming, but Team Efficiency still hanging in there. Botek misses that shot, though, onto the mouse.
Yeah, you would have thought that Team Efficiency would be falling out here, but they have seemed to recover quite a bit, but it is a bit of a neck and neck here. Hokiao will find Botek, but the final shot not going to see its mark.
Botek should kill Hokiao here. If he doesn't, then
that could be it.
That's probably loot.
Oh no, Hokiao's found it, and Team Efficiency have just fallen back.
Yeah, and it's actually a 2v2 at the moment, despite what I
was just thinking, I'm like,
scoreboard says here.
Nice.
There we go. Very favorable right now for EL Gaming. Black has got a huge chunk of HP over his opposing mouse that he's currently dueling with. Quiet in the bat chat. He's just watching the angle. Black really probably can just clean this up on his own.
Yep.
The mouse might get one more shot in here because he reloads faster than Black in that Type 5 heavy, but that's going to just leave too much work left for the 5A of Team Efficiency. And in the end, he doesn't even manage to get another penetrating hit in. So 1v2 here. There's no way that the 5A is going to beat Black and Quiet. Quiet will just be able to rotate around the back behind Black, behind the 5A.
Yep.
And Black, he doesn't even need to really aim. He's in a Type 5. He just needs to hit him, and it's going to kill him because he's only on 240 HP. A Type 5 heavy with that big derp gun.
But another great showing from EL Gaming. Team Efficiency started bringing that back, but it was unfortunately, a little too late, but EL Gaming just really outclassing here today. This is going to be a 5-2 at the end of the day, which means my predictions are wrong, but it means that EL Gaming is starting off the season strong.
Yeah, very, very strong as well. That's a convincing victory over Team Efficiency. I mean, TE, they had a little bit there to start things off. Sand River, it looked good to start off with. That first round was excellent. And then, you know, they lost the second round. They got one back on Himmelsdorf, but it seemed like they kind of, the wind in their sails died out once we hit Prokhorovka. EL Gaming very, very quick in both of those rounds, very, very convincing in both of those rounds. And Ruenberg, it almost felt like a formality at that point. EL Gaming starting off on the defensive side. Team Efficiency down 4-2. You know, you can't really hope for a better situation really for EL Gaming there.
But we were looking for something from Team Efficiency there, and it didn't deliver at the end of the day. But, I mean, that was a tight last game with only 2 tanks left remaining for EL Gaming.
Yep.
And coming through, I think that Team Efficiency was showing glimmers of light at the end. You know, it was a 5-2, but Team Efficiency still had some really good games, I felt. I felt that Team Efficiency did perform, especially, I think Sandy River was good because we haven't seen that map before.
Yep.
And we got to see a new light of Team Efficiency coming through, and the first time we've seen that map in APAC.
I think, you know, that Sand River map was the crucial point for Team Efficiency. If they could have got the 2-0 there, would have left them a little bit more to play with heading in towards the late stages. You know, they maybe they lose Ruenberg first half, but they've got a chance then to, you know, come back in the second half on the defensive side of their own and pull it through to the 4-4. Unfortunately, they weren't able to secure it there, and so that does mean that EL Gaming do secure a very, very good matchup there against EL Gaming, and you know, put some, I suppose, put some questions to bed. Really, they're coming into week 1 of season, well, extended season of the WGL APAC. So Team Efficiency here, they would have wanted more out of that matchup, but then again, it's EL Gaming. I don't want to sound like a fanboy, but they're pretty good.
I saw the jacket you were wearing.
I actually have an EL Gaming hat as well.
Do you? I thought that was a thing.
I do have a Team Efficiency jersey, to be fair.
Do you?
So
I saw that jacket before and I'm like, why do you have an EL Gaming jacket?
I might crack out the Team Efficiency jersey later on in the season as well.
I'm sorry, it's only like the first week and I've already brought secret. I don't know if that was a secret for you.
It's not a secret.
It's not a secret?
No.
Alright, cool.
Yeah,
Just like,
I wear it everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I get a Team Efficiency jacket.
They don't have jackets.
Don't they?
They have hoodies and jerseys.
I want jacket. That's a leather jacket.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wear it. It's like, this thing's really cool.
I'm a really cool dude.
Even though I'm not very cool, but...
I'm a really cool dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, it's quite nice.
But look, anyway, I mean, you should wear it proudly because after that was a great performance. It was a great start to the season for EL Gaming. And I think they really showed their prowess, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of them as we go through the APAC season. And I'm looking forward to them versing Team Efficiency again at the end of the season when these guys have gone through and hopefully been at that top 2 spot. We can see them fight head-to-head again.
A lot of very, very big matchups still to come. I mean, we've seen, obviously, Team Efficiency EL. We've seen Karen Tiger YaTo, but what we haven't seen is YaTo EL or YaTo TE or TE Karen Tiger. That's a big rivalry there as well. So there's so many rivalries still to come throughout the WGL APAC. We've only seen 4 matches so far. Quite a few of them have delivered pretty well as well. So it's going to be a pretty exciting season to continue on after this week.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, are there any dark horses you think that... I think YaTo's like...
YaTo's not really a dark horse because we kind of know they're pretty good. I think the dark horse in a sense is... forgive the pun. Forgive the pun. It is Horseman. Because if they do come in here... Yeah, I know. I couldn't avoid it. Like, it is what it is. But they are the team that isn't expected to be towards the top, but has the potential to be towards the top. So they are a dark horse in a sense. I'm not sure they're going to be able to make it this season. Depends on how they go up against YaTo. But for me, at the moment, the top 4 is sort of looking like EL, TE, YaTo, Karen Tiger. I think Karen Tiger, YaTo, and TE could shift around. That's going to be 2 to 4. Very, very interesting to see who ends up in what position, who has to face EL Gaming at the finals, you know, by getting that 4th seed going up against the 1st seed. It's a bit of a big kind of deal, really, to be avoiding that 4th slot. And
that top spot, of course, 100,000 US. It is a big moment for these guys, and it's going to be a big season. I mean, there's so much more to come, but I'm really excited to see EL Gaming today, and I think we've got a lot more to see over the coming weeks.
We do certainly have a lot more to see over the coming weeks, but that is going to signal the end of week number 1. And that's only the end of week number 1. We've got plenty more coming up. Yeah. Week number 2 starts next Saturday, same time as this week, 2 PM GMT +8. So that's server time here in the Asia region. Until then, have a very good night and happy tanking.
Team efficiency when they're on the offense.
No, it definitely wasn't, but I think they're just not quite prepared to deal with the He's going to have to be number 7. That is Safi looking for the spots, but he hasn't seen anyone there. Both of those tanks on the cap unlit at the moment, and EL Gaming just cap it out there against team. These 50Bs are in a perfect position. JT has managed to lead the charge in the IS-4. There's no way Hardliner survives here. He's going to get absolutely wrecked, and I completely missed that rotation coming across from those 50Bs, but so did EL Gaming. And that goes 1 kill in the favor of team efficiency. They take a bit of damage. That 50B because Wyatt should get the first shot in, though he is taking a lot of damage. He's been spotted out, and everyone from team efficiency had an angle on him. Damaged ammo rack as well. Oh, that's a huge shot. Unfortunate there for number 9 that it's a low roll, but we'll be doing Botek's in trouble here. Safi's in trouble here. Where's the damage going to come out from team efficiency?
They're rotating around, and you can see that 5A is in a lot of trouble. EL Gaming just pushing the ladder here, and they're going to take him out. Botek does not stand a chance. With the bat chat from the rear, they'll take him down. That is a second one going down, and team
not much long for this world. Skell in a similar position, has got a little bit more HP to play with, but he's just going to YOLO over, try and farm some damage onto Quiet, stat pad, so to speak, but that's about as good as it's going to get for Skell here. It doesn't even manage to actually secure that kill, and yeah, that's again a little...
Unfortunately, a little too late, but EL Gaming just really outclassing here today. This is going to be a 5-2 at the end of the day, which means my predictions are wrong, but...